See, my sister will soon go off now, and we've not had light for almost 5 days.
Ah, it's you that is complaining, Rich people like us, we have solar. When the solar is off, we buy fuel.
Ha, Nigeria, my country. What kind of problem is this? And drivers are also complaining that fuel prices keep rising, and people cannot even afford to pay. You see people trekking long distances.
People will afford it because they have to go to work. How do they get to work? Drivers should just increase the transportation fare. They will manage.
After all, Nigerians who can adapt, suffering and smiling. And another thing, ASU. ASU, we're about to go on strike again.
Wahala for who dey go government school. Oh. People are now putting their children in private school. You're still talking about government. See, Didi, you're the one that is complaining. Me, I'm thinking of making it big.
You make it big, as a common and a poor person, what will I do? Leave Nigeria with this problem.
You see, it's so unfortunate how Nigerians often just adapt, even when the situation is extremely inconvenient. Many people prefer to adjust and survive rather than hold their leaders accountable for the country's economic hardship and poor governance. From rising fuel prices to expensive goods, bad roads, unstable electricity, and challenges in the system, citizens continue to endure and move on as if suffering has become normal. After the removal of fuel subsidy in 2023, petrol prices rose from about 185 per litre to over 1,000. Even the gas is now about 2,000 naira. These also increased transportation costs and the prices of food and basic goods. Inflation rose above 30% in 2024, making life more difficult for average Nigerians. Yet, instead of demanding better policies and accountability, many people simply adapt by finding side hustles, cutting expenses, relocating, or managing hardship daily. Nigerians are naturally resilient and hardworking, but resilience should not replace responsible leadership. Citizens deserve good infrastructure, stable economic policy, quality education, affordable living, and leaders who truly address the problems facing the country instead of leaving people to keep adapting to hardship.
Your trusted breakfast program coming to you live from Nigeria's capital city, Abuja. The day is young, but the stories are already making waves, from the corridors of power to the streets, from the economy to security, and from trending conversations to the world of sports. We bring you the facts, the voices, and the stories shaping your day. I am Gloria Atta, your host for today. The morning is only getting started. A newspaper review comes up after the break. Stay with us. Now it's time to take a look at the stories making the front pages this morning. What are the newspapers saying? Which stories are getting the biggest attention? And more importantly, what do these headlines mean for Nigerians? Joining me to unpack the major stories and headlines making the round in Nigeria today is my colleague, Abubakar Turaki. Abubakar, great to have you with us.
Thank you so much, and good morning.
Good morning to you too. So let's quickly get right into it. And we're going to be taking a look at our first newspaper, which is The Guardian, and it says commuters, businesses groan as Edo Delta gridlock cuts off South-South. Now, The Guardian has reported that the first 5-day gridlock on major roads, particularly the Benin, Sapele, and Efun corridor, has disrupted businesses and transports, with manufacturers estimating losses of over 500 billion naira. And I think this is quite alarming for something like this to linger for this long. So I just want you to also, give us your thoughts on that and what impact such incidents could have on not only the economy, but the people within that area and, of course, people who commute at large.
Well, thank you so much, and good morning once again.
Good morning.
When President Bola Ahmed Tinubu came on board, I think President Bola Ahmed Tinubu inherited over 286 project road construction, which is equivalent to almost 14 trillion naira that needed to fix such road. And he have to fix almost 18,000 kilometers of roads. And you know, sometimes government cannot do it alone.
Yes.
Furthermore, these roads that link southwest, southeast, and also northwest. Part of the road, it was constructed during the time of former President Olusegun Obasanjo. And you know, Nigerians, what we have a very dilapidated culture of maintenance.
Yes.
A road that will be constructed 10 to 7 years ago will just be abandoned. There are roads that are still functioning in the northern part of the country that were constructed by the PTF, Petroleum Trust Fund, during the time of Abacha, when former President Muhammadu Buhari was the head of the PTF. And it is now, I think recently, that those parts of the country have started experiencing such traumatic experience when it comes to the road construction.
Yeah.
If you remember, for the past 7 to 11 years of the government of the APC, Abuja-Kaduna Expressway, up to this material moment as I'm speaking to you, there are certain parts of Abuja-Kaduna that every festive period, commuters find it very, very difficult to access that place. So what is currently going on? Sometimes the government may likely give projects, but at the tail end, the implementation of the project, that is exactly what matters.
Yeah.
Maybe the contractor will at least have half of his own what is expected to be given to him. He may likely have the mobilization fund, but at the tail end, they may likely go back and at least withdraw some what they call kickbacks. And recently, I read something that previously Delta State government have given a kind of like approval of almost 35 billion to reconstruct 10 kilometers of the road. I was even having a conversation with one of my colleagues here. I was just so devastated. I just asked him like, why are sometimes politicians trying to at least make Nigerians as if we don't know what we are doing? 35 billion for 10 kilometers. So he started explaining to me, I'm not an engineer, I'm not an electrical engineer, and I'm not a civil engineer.
Yes.
But I think sometimes some projects in this country, I think they are skyrocketing some of the projects. And recently, we came across a lot of videos online journalists giving backfiring the best governor, because they call Governor Monday Okpebholo as one of the best governors, accusing him that why is it that Governor Okpebholo is yet to at least make everything possible to see the light of the day, this road. Sometimes you have to remember there are what we call trunk A and trunk B roads. That particular road that helps most of our own Nigerians interns, and that is the road that belongs to the federal government.
Yes.
But sometimes we sometimes have a kind of like a joint project between the federal government and the state government. And at the tail end, if the federal government get back to you, they may likely compensate you back to what you did.
Now, I saw a video just a few days ago as well, where a lady was just showing the gridlock, and it's, you know, we've talked about it, that it's quite alarming when you see it. It's quite concerning, rather. And she talked about how some foodstuffs have been stuck on that road for days now. Some of them, a lot of perishables like tomatoes and some other things coming, especially those coming up from up north, how they're already getting damaged, they're already rotting while they are there. So there are concerns right now that this is going to also impact the prices of food in the area, because, you know, Nigeria, we are very quick to inflate prices, to take advantage of opportunities like this.
I also forget to make that statement that under the leadership of David Umahi, who is the Minister of Works,
yes,
they have responded swiftly. And he even made it clear, I think, is it on 26th of this month, he will be there on ground. You have to make sure that something like start going on in that particular place.
Yes.
And he also went ahead and even beat him chest and said that
sorry.
Thank you. Presently, there are over 80 federal highways that are currently going on under construction. So I think if you are to grade Minister Umahi, I think maybe Minister Umahi, the way he have been reacting, maybe you can grade him 6/10.
Yeah.
And coming back to what you asked, of course, for example, I think Edo Line, they have shut down operation.
Yes.
And there are a lot of factories that are business are even going down. I even saw a report that almost the companies there, they lost somewhere around, is it 500 billion naira within
Yes.
that 5 to 6 days, because operation is no longer going on and people are actually stagnant in one place. Apart from what that woman said, I recently saw a video of an ambulance carrying a dead body. For how many days? For 5 days, they are stranded.
Oh my
And these are the
goodness.
people that are actually dependent largely their own livelihood is in that drought. And you and I definitely know that it's not everybody that will be able to afford air ticket. It's not
Yes.
everybody that will be able to afford flight. I saw
Everything
it.
is
How much
quite
is flight from
expensive.
Edo to Lagos? Somewhere around 300,000 naira. And I even saw a report like a trip that will cost you maybe 6 to 10 hours is now costing you almost more than 5 days. What is currently going on? And people are out there exposed into the bushes, and you know that this country is currently volatile. No matter what people you are doing, even if you are within your comfort zone, you are not even safe from kidnappers. You are not even safe from attack. These are the congregation of young people, adults, men and women, young children. And we are still here calling that we still have government. And even some town criers and even some political charlatans saying that Governor Opabelo is the best governor. I doubt if where politicians are going to take us. And there are some consequences of what is currently going on. Look at the consequences, the mass loss of businesses, perishable items. Maybe this is the beginning of some of the local business that may likely go bankrupt.
Yes, indeed.
And this is the moment where the insecurity in the country is at a peak. I know that people united cannot be defeated, but now maybe if the likes of those bandits come out in
their numbers,
I think they will overpower people. And you know how they have been operating. Sometimes they may likely come and set you and your property ablaze at the detriment of innocent Nigeria. Whenever society fails to get a good leadership, it is the common people that suffer.
You know, I saw another report somewhere that said that road was one of the best roads Nigeria had.
That is why I told you that was during Obasanjo era.
Yes, and it's quite saddening to see that, see the current situation of things. And what does this even say about road maintenance? Because it's not just about the Warri Road. If you go to other parts of the country,
of course, go to the northern part of the country and
you
see.
travel around and then you see most of these roads. You hear these roads were constructed during Obasanjo's time, during IBB's time, and we have a very, very poor maintenance culture, and it's quite saddening.
I have to attribute all what is currently going on in this country courtesy of corruption, because this is the country where we have FEMA, Federal Emergency Road Maintenance Agency. And this is the country where we have Ministry of Work. And this is the country where we have NEMA. These are the kind of agencies that are put in place in order to address some of these challenges. But we find a situation whereby corruption have actually taken over virtually everything in our dear country, Nigeria.
Now, there's an interesting debate as well on where the conversation should shift to. Should we be thinking about creating new roads when we still have roads that are in dilapidated conditions, and not just ordinary roads, but major highways, major roads that commuters use to travel across the country? So should the conversation be now about constructing new roads or taking time to go around and fix those ones that are already dilapidating?
Well, 60 over 40. Construction of new road, at least, you should say at least 40%. And rehabilitation of the existing roads, at least will take 60%. Do you know why I say so?
Context,
okay.
Let's go on a quick break. And when we come back, the newspaper review continues. Stay with us. Welcome back from that break. If you're just joining us, this is Episode 4 Morning Digest, your trusted breakfast program coming to you live from Nigeria's capital city, Abuja. And this is our newspaper review. Before we went on the break, we're talking about the condition of one of our major highways in Edo State. There's been a gridlock that's lingered for over 5 days now, and there are reported losses of over 500 billion naira. So it's quite a concerning situation that has, of course, impacted businesses, families, livelihoods, and everything you can think of. And of course, my colleague Abubakar Turaki has been with me unpacking this story. So thank you for staying with us, Abubakar.
Thank you.
Yeah, so before we went on the break, we're talking about the interesting debates that's currently making the round, which is when we keep having issues like this, should the focus be more on constructing new roads or restructuring and trying to just repair the existing ones that are dilapidating? And Abubakar, you talked about doing a 60-40. So just give more context to that.
Yeah, but if I may express my own opinion as a
Yeah.
Nigerian, I think we should, for now, we should halt any construction of new roads. But I definitely know that our leaders will never do that, because it is only when they construct, because we are yet to understand how much does a 1 kilometer road cost. We saw an altercation that happened recently, some few years ago, between Rufai and Minister David Umahi, where Rufai was trying to challenge him, and can he give us a breakdown of that Lagos Coastal Highway is going to cost? The minister wasn't able to give a breakdown of what
they're using the money for.
What is the estimated, what they estimated for every 1 kilometer.
Yeah.
So sometimes, like initiating new projects in this country, they are more
Yeah.
lucrative than renovating some of the existing projects, because there has been an allegation of kickbacks. There have been an allegation of skyrocketing the amount of every project. But if the government can at least, for now, since they have been bragging, they have saved over 15 trillion naira since they removed the subsidy, I think maybe they should go back to every nook and cranny of this country, 774 local government, 36 states, including Abuja. They should go back and rehabilitate every existing roads. They should do that. It will go a long way in addressing most of the problem that we are currently facing. And the reason why I say 40%, there are certain places that they are yet to have access road. Even though in some places like Gombe, I could remember the governor when he came on board, that was during his own first tenure, he initiated what he called 11-100, because Gombe State had 11 local government, and each of the local government, he have constructed 100 kilometer within the 11 local governments. So these are the kind of initiative like we are expecting maybe from the federal government. But furthermore, if they can at least be honest and transparent enough in doing both, I think Nigerians will go a long way in uploading the presidency. We even recently saw the federal government have actually gave the contract of rehabilitation of Akwanga, Jos, Biu, Gombe, Yola Express, that expressway. I think these are some laudable effort from the federal government, and I believe if we continue to hold the federal government accountable, they should do more, because they are actually afraid of criticism.
Yes.
For as long as you are going to criticize them in a very positive manner, they will listen to you.
Yeah, so it's very important, just like you said, for the federal government, and not just the federal government, but all the other agencies involved to also be held accountable, because this is something that, again, a lot of issues that we see in Nigeria are issues that have spanned decades. There are conversations that we heard our parents talking about, and unfortunately, as adults now, we are still talking about some of these issues. But as the race to the 2027 election comes forth, it keeps gaining momentum. I think it is all these issues, these are the time that, or this is the opportunity we have to demand and ensure that everything that is due to us comes to us. So because of time now, we are moving...
I think maybe I have another opinion which I want to share to Nigerians. Part of the ways where we can at least maintain our own existing routes, I don't even know what is the name of the Minister of Transportation, because before I knew he came from my state, Saidu Ahmad Al-Ghali, when he wanted to contest and he relinquished, and he later went and he couldn't be able to clinch the tickets. I think what the federal government should do, they should try and at least rehabilitate our own existing railway stations.
Yes.
because for as long as we will continue to at least use our own road in carrying out heavy loads, I think our road will not be able to last for a period of 20 years.
That thing is even another conversation that if we start now, I don't even know when we'll finish, because
And
why
le-
are our rail lines not even working across the country?
I always love referring back to books, to history.
Yes.
What Britain did to Nigeria by Maximilian. When Britain came in the early 90s, when they came to Nigeria in the early 80s to 90s, they were able to at least make a walkable railway station so they can be able to use that railway to transport their own goods from the northern part of the country,
Yes.
that is the interland, to the waterways where they will go and take it to maybe places like Badagry, places like Lagos. From there, they will take it and put it into their own ships and take it to the Europe and America. If at least the colonial hegemony can be able to maintain railway station, what happened to us? And also our own waterways, because if you remember, we have Baro. We have Baro waterways. When Umaru Musa was trying to at least actualize that dream for the northern part of the country. But what happened when Umaru Musa left? So if we can at least reduce the burden for our own roads, I think the government should try and do everything possible to actualize that. I came across the video of former Minister of Transportation, Rotimi Amechi, saying that during my time, he was able to at least initiate a lot of railways in this country. Up to this material moment, there are a lot of railway stations that are currently going on, from Abuja to Rigasa to Kaduna. It's still going on.
Yes.
But at least they should actualize in some part of the country a lot.
Yes, we know that even from Ibadan to Lagos, the railway too is working. But across the country, all major points, even
They
if
have to do it.
yes, even if we can't do
All,
within, yes,
yeah.
all, but every major point, there should be a railway connecting every region at
Of
least,
course.
for starters. And this conversation has lingered for
For a very long
decades, and
time.
it's something that we are supposed to have even moved forward. So hopefully, we hope that this conversation gets to see the light of day at some point. So we are still looking at the Guardian newspaper, but this time we are taking a swipe and we're looking at politics, and we're talking about petrol subsidy again. So now Obi Sowore differ with Atiku over proposed return of petrol subsidy. This story has a particularly interesting political dimension. Atiku is proposing a targeted, capped, and transparently administered intervention, while Peter Obi maintains that subsidy removal is necessary, but argues that the savings have been poorly utilized. And then finally, Sowore rejects a return of the whole regime, but argues that ordinary Nigerians have not benefited from subsidy removal. So we see our top contenders in the 2027 election all having different views about petrol subsidy removal. So let me just hear your thoughts on all these statements.
So Sowore totally rejected that.
Yes.
So I think my brother is confused. He's neither here and neither there. You see, if you're to be honest with ourselves, I always love to make this assertion that I am not an expert in the economy. But the truth of the matter, for as long as the government will continue to subsidize the petroleum, this is the only way Nigerians can at least find succor. This is the only way where at least Nigerians can be able to at least smile and at least afford certain things in the country. They removed the subsidy and they have been saying they save almost 15.8 trillion naira.
Yes.
Even the World Bank made that assertion. But why is it that some portion of Nigerians are the one enjoying? Remember, this is the country of over 250 million population.
Yes.
And how many are the governors? We only have 37 governors, including the governor of Central Bank, because a governor is a governor.
Have we? Indeed.
We only have 37 governors. It is only a few individuals that they are enjoying. These are the governors where, after the removal of subsidy, the life of a common man in their state have not at least impactful change. We haven't seen any impactful change. And these are the people that all what we are after, all what we are seeing from most of their men is just mass wedding. A mass wedding that will multiply and give them mass votes. These are the people that we are actually seeing them buying SUVs to the traditional rulers. These are the people that we are actually seeing them virtually every day increasing the number of their own special advisors and technical advisors. Why is the impact for for a common man? And even the World Bank, sometimes I feel like I'm a Pan-Africanist. Because I don't believe most of the time, most of the assertions by the Bretton Woods saying to most of the developing countries that you have to do this, you have to do that. I always refer back to what Christine Lagarde, what Americans say to Christine Lagarde. If you're to be honest with ourselves, will you be at the detriment that you as a leader, your people are suffering while few of the people are enjoying just because you wanted to at least please the Western people? Whenever we are making huge and hot policies that will at least make more Nigerians send Nigerians into hardship, I think the Western people will just be saying, well, these are kind of beautiful policies. I saw a post in X saying that President Tinubu is the only president that is campaigning with hardship.
I totally understand.
And to be honest of the matter, these are the things that is currently going on. Have the life of a common Nigerian changed since they removed the subsidy?
Yes.
Well,
yes.
before Nigerians, before the subsidy, I quite agree. Before the subsidy was being mismanaged by some elites, because based on what Sowore said, that is like the removal of this subsidy is that they are robbing Peter and they are paying Bola Tinubu. That is what Sowore said.
Now, you know, this statements that article made, you know, a few days ago when we were having the discussion, we said he has brought something that touches every Nigerian. So because of that, this conversation is not ending anytime soon. But you've rightly mentioned something that this issue also brings to the fore a lot of accountability issues, because in the first place, the argument for removing subsidy was because some elites had hijacked it and they were taking advantage of it, and it seemed like it was benefiting just a few of the population. And now they removed it, and that same population that
they weren't crying.
Yes, they claim that we're the ones, they were doing it to help us. We are still the ones crying, we are still the ones hungry, we are still the ones going to the market, and we are the ones, in fact, in the last 2-3 years, the level of crime, I don't have an official statistics, but I won't be surprised if we check it and we see that the level of crime rate has increased. So it seems like this subsidy removal has actually done more harm than good. But now the question is about accountability. Nigerians have repeatedly been told that subsidy removal would free up resources for infrastructure, for healthcare, education, and other sectors. While there is evidence, why is there no evidence that these things are reaching Nigerians?
Because they don't have any data to back that. Because the subsidy removal was not masses oriented. It was few individual oriented. This is the country where they removed the subsidy and they have totally transferred the burden to a common Nigerian. See the way people are grappling with the fuel subsidy. Before they say that it is only elites that are enjoying the benefit of the subsidy, but when they remove the subsidy, the elites are no longer crying. It is Nigerians that are crying. And now let me ask you, I'm expecting maybe if the government remove the subsidy and the government have claimed that they have always been giving state governors money, we're expecting to see massive infrastructural transformation. By now, we could have seen a situation whereby each of the 774 local government, even though I don't want to revoke my earlier statement, they could have a workable and first-hand healthcare system, school, entrepreneurship, and many more. But every time, this is a country where some of places in Katsina is under the control of some of bandits.
Yeah.
In Katsina, you cannot go out freely. You are afraid because you know that those people are going to terrorize you. I think Nigerian politicians should find a way of at least doing what is supposed to be done. And recently, when the Senate Committee on Finance, even was it last month when we said they are trying to when they came up with NNPC financial audit, we saw what happened between Comrades Adam Oshimole and the president of the Senate, while Oshimole was even accusing that the daughter of the Senate president has secured a job in NNPC. That is why he's trying to at least block the investigation. So our lawmakers should try and at least make everything possible to bring an auditing. They should audit the NNPC, and should also find a way, EFCC should find a way of scrutinizing any of the executive governor that benefited from the subsidy removal. Most of them, thank God, Alhamdulillah, they are outgoing governors, so they will no longer have that immunity. Immediately they hand over the state to their own successor. EFCC should find a way of investigating them. Where is the money? Where is the money? Because Nigerians are dying due to some of the level of weak and harsh policies that everyday Nigerians are experiencing. And is it not better for them to bring back our own subsidies so that we can continue surviving? And I even saw the minister Tayo saying that IMF, okay, sorry, it wasn't the minister, it's the Minister of Information, saying that IMF have even recommended the subsidizing petroleum in Nigeria. It has a detriment to our own infrastructure. We don't care about what IMF will say, because Nigeria is an independent country. We can do without their own assertion.
Conversation was going to, because they keep saying this. Anytime Nigerians just want to raise their voice and talk about this, they say the country would collapse, the economy would collapse. This will happen if the subsidy were to return back. But then Nigerians,
please, for the
now
sake
keep
of Allah,
that,
if we are to be honest with ourselves, are we off? Like, is the life of a Nigerian better before the removal of subsidy or after the removal of subsidy?
Well, that's a question that Nigerians should ask themselves and ask their government. Let's go on a quick break, and when we come back, the conversation continues. Stay with us.
Hi, my name is Hawa Shakir Owoduni, and shout out to S24 for this interview. It was so smooth and so clean. Thank you so much.
Welcome back from that break. This is still S24 Morning Digest, your trusted breakfast program, airing on, of course, your trusted television station, S24 Television, coming to you live from Nigeria's capital city, Abuja. And before we went on the break, we were talking about the petrol subsidy removal. That conversation, that debate was reignited by former Vice President Atiku Abubakar. And as the race to the 2027 election continues to gather momentum, this is looking like a major discussion that a lot of political candidates would use in trying to defend and just in the entire campaign, especially as the campaign season has begun. So now, if the petrol subsidy were to return, what impact do you think this would have as against what the federal government is already saying? Do you think it's going to have any major impact, looking at the fact that Nigeria as a country on its own, when things go up, they don't come back? So even if the subsidy comes back, do you see life going back to the way it was before?
Of course it will. Because everybody, 100%, I'm very, very optimistic, because I don't know what is going to change my mind as a concerned Nigerian about the withdrawal of subsidy. If they can bring back the subsidy to Nigerians, well, Nigerians will appreciate. This is the moment when we will see Nigerians, they will start jubilating and they will start voting people. You see, Atiku made that statement that he's going to bring back the subsidy. If Atiku can continue, can stand firmly on that, on his own statement, Atiku will be able to at least have massive votes from Nigerians, because they have clearly understood where it is pinching Nigerians. And for as long as you are going to provide solution to what is currently going on in Nigeria, Nigerians don't mind voting any president that came from the south, that came from the north, and that even came from the middle belt. For as long as you are going to provide solution. And you yourself knew that there are certain places here in Abuja, before you can enter commercial car, commercial car can take you to that particular place at the rate of 15 naira, 200 naira. But now you have to pay the sum of almost 700 naira, or even sometimes 1,000, and even sometimes you have to beg.
Yes, unfortunately,
So why are
unfortunately.
you subjecting us to beggars? We are no longer under the colonial rule. We are an independent state. We are a republican state. We are under the democratic dispensation. I think if we are truly practicing democracy in this country, President Bola Tinubu by now could have reversed that statement, because this is a system of government that give majority the opportunity to voice their own voices.
Mm.
Whenever you are oppressed, you can be able to table your own grievances. The civil society organization urged the president to bring back this subsidy. In fact, even some government officials that are not with the opposition, that are not with the ruling party, urges the government to bring back the subsidy. I so much believe the media also did the same thing. But does that simply mean the removal of subsidy is at the interest of the president?
So as
Well, that is true. It is at the interest of the president. For if the president is doing it at the interest of Nigerians, you said we should vote for you. We voted for you. We came up with this policy. We say we don't want this policy. We don't want the removal of subsidy. Then the president, what are you waiting for? For 3 years, you are yet to bring back the subsidy? Then you are not representing the interest of the over 250 million that voted for you.
So in this campaign season, if Nigerians have the opportunity to meet any of the politicians and the question or the conversation around fuel subsidy comes up, what should be the right questions Nigerians should be asking politicians?
Well, thank you so much for that. You said Nigerians, but I want to differentiate between concerned Nigerians and blind followers. Because recently I saw a devastating video online. Student from one of the universities in this country following politician. I'm expecting students to be the vanguard of democracy, but now students are now being subjected to the vanguard of politician, ignorant politician. Even if Nigerians have the opportunity to speak to some of the leaders that wanted to rule this country for the next years, most of them, they will just be tabling their own personal interests and personal grievances. Your Excellency, my wife is about to give birth. Your Excellency, I'm about to send my daughter to school. What are you doing this? Hold him accountable. Your Excellency, what do you have for us? Even though some people are even calling them Your Excellency, even before winning the election. Your Excellency, what do you have for us? Well, I have this. I have a blueprint. I have a committee of expert and technocrat that they will be able to address the problem that is currently facing us. And I believe by now, if the government have withdrawn the subsidy, the government could have come up with some palliative and something that will cushion the effect of fuel subsidy removal. But all what we saw from the government have always been ranting and saying that they have been injecting funds to the state governors. Even though the federal government have minimal control over the state governors, but I believe if truly what you are saying, you need to hold the state governors accountable. Okay, make sure that your people are actually suffering. We know that the country is suffering. Do something. Do everything possible that will alleviate the problem of your people. Now that the presidential campaign committee has been inaugurated, you will see some massive intervention from the state governors. Even somebody that is called SSSA, SA, not even SSA that is close to the president, SNSA.
Yes.
Maybe you're a minister and my friend know you. I'm a friend to the friend that know the minister. They will now start coming up with some campaign jingles, some campaign deception. You will just see some branded spaghetti with the logo of one politician, and you will just see a picture of somebody beside the spaghetti. Where are we heading to?
As this conversation deepens, I have to just take a swipe from the petrol subsidy removal, and let's also talk about the Presidential Campaign Council. So this morning, and of course, we'll be looking at the Daily Trust newspaper. This morning, the Daily Trust newspaper reported that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has pulled back the Presidential Campaign Council list after anomalies and omissions triggered that could, of course, undermine their chances, possibly triggered reactions. So now, what exactly went wrong? What do you think went wrong with the original campaign council list? Because remember, we talked about it yesterday.
Because Cabal have already hijacked the list. And after that, we saw some public servants.
Bless you.
We saw some public servants that are expected to be neutral.
Yes.
And we saw them in the list. And we also saw some corrupt officials in the list. And we even saw the likes of Barrister Dino Melaye.
On that list as well.
No. He said that he's going to challenge the list. He's going to court. I think he has already filed a case. But I so much believe that it was yesterday when I heard Robin Apati of Arise making analysis that there is no any constitutional law that stop any public office holder from participating into that list, because there has been an allegation about the presence of the Dr. Adedeji, the Nigeria Revenue Service chairman, in that list. All those people, they are members of the ruling party, because remember, it is the ruling party that brought them into power. But for us, for the sake of neutrality, because according to constitution and even the law, for any public office holder that want to participate into active politics, he can at least relinquish and retire his own position that he's holding and go back and face his own constitutional assignment. And also remember, what is going to happen to the likes of Minister of Defense, State Minister of Defense, that we saw his name in the list? Does his own primary responsibility is going to be affected? Well, these are the questions Nigerians were asking. And you know, in a constitutional democracy, for example, as I told you earlier, some days to election, our politicians will open their own eyes and see everything from the positive lens. And we even saw the likes of people that were being omitted from the list. We did not see the names of the Minister of Aviation, Festus Keyamo SAN. We did not see the likes of Solomon Lalong, who is now the senator representing the good people of Plateau. And we did not see the names of the Katsina State Governor, that is Malam Dikorata, who was among. And there are a lot of people. And recently, we did not see the likes of, I forgot the other prominent people that played a vital role prior to the coming of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. And you still remember the composition of the likes of Beta Edu and the composition of the Ngozi Olemije, that woman that from Nigerian Social Trust Fund. That woman, she has been one of the people that are being accused of corruption. And you know, according to law, a person is always is guilty until he is proven innocent. But what we are after right now, that we are trying to ask, why is the president, will any responsible government need a committee of over 200 people before it win its own elections? This is the question we need to ask ourselves, because in Hausa, there is a certain saying that says, you should allow your own blue card to speak for you. For as long as you know that you have ruled Nigerians with solid hand, and you have made some positive and tremendous impact in terms of infrastructure, in terms of health, in terms of security, etc. I don't think if you need such committee of people that you will try and at least support you in your own re-elections. I think these are what we call misplacement of priority. And sometimes, most of the times, those people, they are all holding public office, and it is totally against the law to use public funds in order to use on your own campaign benefit. It is totally not accepted. And we are also calling and urging the president that maybe that they are now going to at least reshuffle their own presidential campaign committee. Maybe those people that are holding sensitive public office, the president may likely consider them dropping them down. Or if the president believes that they are going to at least play a vital role in his own re-election in 2027, please, he should call them that maybe they should resign those strategic office that they are holding and go and focus on the presidential re-elections in 2027. Because we so much believe that you can never hold any public office until you have a political party. And you can never be a president in this country until you have a political party. So we are calling on the president that please, for the benefit of people that he wants to at least rule beyond 2023, we are urging the president should consider our own appeal by removing the likes of Dr. Adedeji and many more that are holding vital and strategic position in this country, because they will just be there trying to bring votes to the president, and they may likely
Even the
forget their
Minister
own
of Defense is
Minister of
there as
Defense.
well.
He's holding a very strategic position.
Yes.
And I'm expecting Minister of Defense that he came virtually from the most of the volatile states, Zamfara State. I think by now Bello Matewale could have rejected that, because he may likely said, "Oh, Mr. President, thank you for giving me this opportunity, but I have a mandate to make sure that Zamfara is peaceful."
Yeah,
And
it's
remember,
not just the Minister of State, both the Minister of State and the main Minister of Defense, both of them are on that list.
well, the main Minister of Defense, Musa,
Christopher Musa,
Musa
yes.
came from Kaduna, and you know Kaduna is relatively peaceful compared to Zamfara.
Is there
And even
anywhere in Nigeria
the
that's
DG, and
currently
even the
safe?
DG of the Presidential Campaign Council, Abdulaziz Yari, this is the person that somewhere around 2022 reports are there. He almost forfeited and the FCC auctioned some of his own properties. Remember, and this is the person that came from Zamfara State. And I saw a very, very social media analysis, which they said, when it comes to securing votes for the president, it is the Northerners that they are going to helm the affairs of that. But when it comes to strategic position in this country, Minister of Finance, he came from the Yoruba part of, he is a Yoruba person. I'm not trying to be sentimental or biased, but I'm trying to let the Northerners understand that whatever you are doing, do it based on competency. Strategic position is a person that came from the southern part of the country. Revenue service is the person that came from the southern part of the country. Custom is the person that came from the southern part of the country. So it is only when it comes to politics that the Northerners will just call and come, let's play the politics. But when it comes to governance and the benefit of what we call Roman democracy, it is only those people that feel they are very, very good that they can represent their own people. I think Northern politicians have to be serious enough.
Well, finally, as well, as we move to 2027, then we keep saying that they have to be serious and they have to try to get their act right as well. But then, is this simply this withdrawing of the list? Is this simply a case of getting the right name on the list, or could the composition of Tinubu's campaign council give us an early indication of the political strategy the president is trying to deploy for his re-election? Because you've rightly said we have very, very strategic names on that list and very key people too on that list.
The truth of the matter is, sometimes looking at President Bola Ahmed Tinubu antecedent, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is a person that loves micromanaging.
Yes.
Because, sometimes they say that cabal sometimes used to overshadow the president. So maybe the thing went wrong, and the president knew that there are some foot soldiers whom he felt that if they are not in the list, he may likely not win the 2027 election. That is why they decided to at least reshuffle the list so that he can bring those people that he felt that they are going to do the needful for him. We knew when during former President Buhari, when he was in power, even before President Bola Tinubu came on board, we knew when the villa was divided. There are some faction in the villa that they are supporting the former Vice President Osinbajo, that they wanted to be the next Nigerian president, and there are people that are currently supporting the former Senate president, which was Ahmad Lawan, and there are people within the villa, some factions within the villa, that they are still campaigning and working for Atiku Abubakar. And we knew how President Bola Tinubu was just able to at least maneuver his way and just find his way, and he was able to at least got the 2023 presidential flag bearer of the APC. When all these things happen, they are out there. If you can just go out and read history, you just see them there. And now, he came and tested the positive of power. Even though we saw the time when they were bullion van were moving around Lagos, and there have been an accusation those bullion ban belongs to one politician in this country. And he knows the godfatherism and the politicization of money politics in this country is always playing a vital role. And this is the right moment that sometimes people may likely collect your money and may likely not go and even work on your own favor. So the president has to be very, very careful. And even the president himself is also part of those presidential council committee. The chairman of the ruling party, Professor Nentao, is also among vice president is also among. This is to tell you the ruling party is actually at the end. They have actually have what it all takes and all what it is expected. They are fully prepared ahead of the 2027 general election. I think this is going to be the right moment when you will even see the president going into a local government campaigning for his own next election, because the way the opposition are trying to at least come up with those G100 coalition,
Yes.
they may likely set another history.
Well,
But Nigerians will decide.
yeah, of course, Nigerians will decide at the end of the day. Because of time, there is a final topic we're supposed to touch on, and we're going to do it in less than 1 minute. I'll see the magic we'll do. Governor Buni, Tinubu's advisor, donates 600 million naira to Jibuis Varsity. So we're still looking at the Daily Trust newspaper. I just want to get your comments on
Well,
that
recently
real
we
quickly.
saw a video of one influential and respected scholar, which I so much respect him,
Yes.
campaigning for a joint and deceptive ticket that brought the ruling party into power.
Yes.
And you know, recently we saw a council of ulama giving a vote of confidence to the continuity of this current administration of Bola Ahmed Tinubu.
Yes.
And subsequently, Nigerians has been asking people, where is our own subsidy money have gone? So I think maybe that is where our own subsidy money have went to. 600 million naira in a broad daylight, donating to a faction of Jubis. And this is the man, and these are the people that have been campaigning for the Muslim ticket. I think maybe there is what we call one good term deserve another. Maybe this is the right time for Masari, that is this presidential advisor, and also Governor Buri of Yobe State, to at least compensate Sheikh Jingir.
Because this is even coming at a time where our public universities are
collapsing.
and state
Health
universities
institutions are
as well.
collapsing.
And we keep seeing protests every day. People saying
Every
that
day.
they need funding for this and that, and we're having 600 million naira being disbursed to a
Well,
faith-based.
you know, sometimes
organization.
politicians, we have to be very, very careful with what they said. We don't have to quickly analyze what they are doing.
Yes.
Maybe we are going to follow the issue to the core. Let us make sure that they have sent him the money, because sometimes Nigerian politicians can promise you heaven and unleash hell to you.
Very true.
Well, they can make some beautiful promises and fake promises, but at the tail end of, they will not do that. I went to one gathering, a political gathering. A politician was in the podium. He made it clear to the people that he's going to donate the sum of 100,000 naira. At the tail end, it was 20,000 naira that he donated.
Those people are even lucky. They saw money. Because of time, I have to put a stop to this conversation. Anyway, that concludes our newspaper review for today. Thank you so much, Abubakar, for joining us. Coming up next, we are taking the conversation beyond the studio and onto the streets, where Nigerians have their say in our street talk segment. And there's still plenty more ahead. From all you need to know to stay healthy, to the top trends making waves, and all the latest action from the world of sports on the Sports Desk. But for now, it's goodbye from me. Stay with us and enjoy the rest of your morning.
Young people make up the significant part of the Nigerian population, but how interested are they in the country's political affairs? Today, we took to the street to find out what Nigeria sees. Would they believe young people are interested enough in colleges? Let's hear from them.
Nigerians, the youths now, most of the youths, they don't go out, they don't go out to vote because we have these feelings that when you vote, your vote will not count. Okay, like the last election, you know how it went. People went out in masses to vote, and at the end of the day, they still announced the person they wanted to attack. So there's already a lot of people might not even come out this year because you've already accepted that even if you vote, your vote will not count. You don't trust politicians, so there's no way now. But I feel like the youths, we're not ready yet, because these people still have more power over us, because most times we spend our time on social media. Social media is not polling units. It's not a polling. There's no polling unit for social media. So instead of us tweeting, talking on social media, the noise on social media is more than the action on the polling units. So most youths, you see them talking on social media, but when it comes to going out there to vote, they don't. Some people will just say, even if I vote, it not go count. They go still give anybody where they want. You see, politically, that's what I don't trust any politicians.
Actually, most young Nigerians are interested in politics, but the privilege, they don't have it. Now in politics, now, look at this present dispensation. The youth are supposed to be engaged with politics 100%, while the other ones go back to their seats. When you look at the civil service now, somebody who has gotten to retirement age, he will never be retired, and is blocking chances for others, for the other youth. You can look, for instance, now, if there is an avenue open by the federal government to educate more youth on politics, more youth we call. You see a graduate going on with his first class, going on getting this Uber. So why? Because there's no work. So the government should try and do this to let the youth be involved in politics. Because we have a lot of youth who are involved in politics, but you are not given the privilege to go and buy the form or contest for anything simply because they don't have God. Or that is it. That's one of those that is chaos in Nigeria now. So what I'm trying to appeal to my fellow youth, let's stand, arise, and fight for our rights, so that we too will have that privilege to participate in politics. The reason is that we are not doing it for ourselves, but for the unborn generation, so that they'll see that this is what the youth did. Because you don't follow the step of the old school, the babas. So you don't follow their step. You look at now, you see most of those politicians, look at 70-something, 80-something. Their thinking is too dull. But if this is a youth who is aiming the aim of fear, is thinking youthful. Thank you.
Many of them are interested in politics, but the old men in politics don't want to give them space. They're not allowing them to go into politics. Instead, they're using them as talks instead of allowing them to participate in politics. They are not tired. We need to retire these old politicians so that the young ones can take over. Because many of them, the old men, don't know what they're doing now. We need the younger ones to participate. I want to plead with the older politicians to allow the younger ones to participate. They want to participate, and they want to give their best to the country. Please, I want to plead that they allow the younger ones to participate in politics, and the Bureau for Nigeria and gives us the...
From the responses we heard, it's clear that opinions differ on how they involve young people are in politics. While some believe young people are more politically aware, others think they see lots more participation there. I am Gibat Villa, reporting for Estate Sport Television.
Hello and welcome to Health 360, the show where we don't just talk about health, we make it make sense. I'm your host, Martha Opbala-Nedu, and today we're talking about something that could be living in someone's body for years without making a sound. No cough, no fever, no dramatic warning. Yet, quietly, it could be damaging one of the most important organs in the body, your liver. It's called hepatitis. And despite affecting millions of people worldwide, many still don't know what it is, how it is spread, or how to protect themselves. So today, we're separating facts from fear, myth from medicine, and helping you understand why knowing your hepatitis status could literally save your life. Joining us today is pharmacist Prosper Pascal, who graduated from the University of Punjab, Technical University, Punjab, India. Prosper, thank you so much for joining us on Health 360.
Thanks for having me here.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
How was India? Okay.
India was challenging, but fun. Yeah.
That's nice to know. You learned that language or anything?
Just the course language. That's all. But yeah.
Okay. So before we dive into the medical side of things, the serious conversation and all, we do something known as vibe check on Health 360. We want to know if you're 360 enough to be on Health 360. Are you?
Yes, I am.
Okay, let's find out. What's one food you will never stop eating?
as an Igbo man, I will never stop eating fufu. Yeah, and oha soup.
Ooh, yes, please. What
Yeah.
about the Indian side?
For India, I will never stop eating their paratha.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. One health habit you're proud of that you've maintained so far?
I exercise a lot.
Exercise?
Yeah. A lot. Every day. So I'm so happy about that. And I go eating my fruits every day. At least one fruit every day.
You're serious about being healthy?
Yes.
Yeah, 360 sound.
Don't worry, I told you, I'm 360 sound.
Okay, have you ever Googled your own symptoms?
My own symptoms.
Yeah.
When it comes to symptoms, what
Like medical wise, like health wise. Maybe you're having malaria.
well,
Diagnose yourself.
well, this is like a normal thing in Nigeria. We Google ourselves, our symptoms. So I've done that before, but you know, being a healthcare person, it's helped me a lot to know what's wrong with me. So sometimes I do, but most times I don't.
Oh.
Yes.
Okay. If you weren't in pharmacy, what career do you think you'll be doing?
Tough question. Well, growing up, I loved playing football.
Oh.
So I wanted to just go into football.
Did you, coach?
You know that. So football is just going to be the next thing I'll do if I was not studying pharmacy. Although pharmacy came later on. It wasn't the first choice. It was like something I was not even planning to do.
Wow. Because you're a pharmacist by accident.
No, I was chosen.
Oh,
Yeah.
the choosing one.
Yeah, I was chosen by God to do this.
Wow, that's beautiful, sir. But you
Yeah.
love your job.
What? I love my job a lot. I love it. I'm passionate about it. I'm not passionate about it. I'm passionate about people. So I love people a lot. So I just try to help them.
That's beautiful, sir. Keep helping us, please.
Yeah.
What health myth makes you laugh every single time you hear it?
A lot of them. Let me see which one will I pick now. Okay, this is it. Most people often claim that they are healthy if they don't get to see any symptoms in their body, or if they don't get to fall sick. So they feel that they are healthy, but most of them are just false.
How often do you expect somebody that feels like they're healthy should like to be checking themselves?
For me, 3 months, 6 months. You know, in a year, you should just check your health, do some tests 3 months, or 3 months interval, or 6 months interval.
Okay.
Very good. You get to know what's wrong with you.
All right, that's fine. We'll keep that in mind, sir.
Yeah.
When friends or patients call you for medical advice at midnight, do you answer? Do you pick their call?
I'll answer this honestly. Most times I pick.
Wow.
Yes, most times. You can call me by 1, 2, as long as my phone is beside me, which I always try to keep, I pick, because it might be saving a life at that moment. So yeah, I do.
That's beautiful, sir. So on a scale of 1 to 10, how difficult is it convincing Nigerians not to self-medicate? On a scale of 1 to 10.
How hard? It's so hard. On a scale to 10 is... Nigerians are stubborn. 2.
2?
Yes.
Oh, that's very low for us.
You guys, Nigerians are stubborn. You get to call and say, do not self-medicate. Whatever you feel, call me. Call or go to the nearest pharmacy first. The Nigerians are Isabina. Or now that ChatGPT is available, everything is crazy. So
Okay.
but, yeah.
So who is Prosper beyond the pharmacy world?
Well, prosper beyond the pharmacy world. I would say people loving, you know, jovial, serious.
Yeah, a mix of both.
Yes, a mix of both. So funny and passionate. So yeah.
That's beautiful, sir. Okay, now that we've confirmed that you're 360-degree enough,
I
I mean,
told
you
you.
exercise every day, sir.
I told you.
Okay. So we're moving to our main conversation for the day.
Thank you.
Hepatitis. So when people hear this all the time, they don't know what it is. So please educate us. What is hepatitis all about?
Okay. Thank you for this question.
You're welcome, sir.
So hepatitis, is a liver inflammation. Yeah, that's what it is in the short form. The liver inflammation. You know, it affects the liver, causes scarring, causes fibrosis, leading to, you know, cirrhosis. Then your liver is damaged.
Help us break those medical terms.
Okay. Let me say, you know, we as humans, when you are infected through the blood, the virus goes straight to your liver, affecting your liver cells. That's the hepatocytes. So once the hepatocytes are affected, they tend to start multiplying. That's the virus start multiplying in your body. And without detection, it takes a long time to lead to scarring, to lead to fibrosis, to lead to cirrhosis, and eventually liver damages. So, once you don't detect on time, it stays in your body, multiply it, and your immune system will be fighting it, and they're just going to be like a battle between your immune and the virus. And the more your immune is battling a lot, the virus always overtakes it because you haven't detected what is wrong with you, so you're not taking the medication that will help your immune to be strong.
Yeah.
So that's when it leads to scarring. Then from there it leads to cirrhosis, fibrosis, then your liver is damaged. Yeah.
So why does hepatitis specifically attack the liver? Why is the liver so important in the human system?
One thing I will tell people is take care of your liver, because the liver is one of the largest organ in your body. So it does a lot of functioning. It functions a lot. It has to do with detoxification. It produces energy. Another thing it does is it helps to produce nutrients, protein, lipids, and those things have their own functions in the body. So, and always the liver has exchange. There's an exchange there, and the liver tries to detoxify. So the liver, it's a place where anything can just come in and stay. So the hepatitis tends to stay there because it cannot be detoxified. So the liver cannot detoxify the hepatitis. So that's how things go on in your liver. You get to see that the liver has been battling with an infection, don't know what it's battling with, and there's no detection. From there, you see that the liver tends to die gradually. And the hepatitis viruses love the liver a lot because of its function. They just love because of its function. So there's multiplication that happens there. So when the viruses get to be in the liver, they tend to multiply because they have found whatever it takes for them to multiply. Energy is there, protein is there. So instead of your body to be producing those things that your body needs, the viruses hijack it, and they start producing the viruses, replicating them for long term. So that's why hepatitis love the liver, because of that function.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's very... Can you explain the different types of hepatitis?
Yeah. You have hepatitis A, B, C, D, E. So hepatitis A is, people think hepatitis A is like hepatitis B or C. No. Hepatitis A is mostly found in food and water. That's food that have been contaminated with hepatitis virus.
That's not typhoid.
Like, people say typhoid, but if it's contaminated with hepatitis virus, then you can get hepatitis. But it's curable. It cures on its own.
On its own?
Yeah, through proper hygiene and through taking proper nutrients. Then you have hepatitis B. Hepatitis B is mostly from infected blood and fluids, just like the sperm. So you can get it through sex, through mother to child. Then hepatitis C, also from blood. Then hepatitis D. Well, hepatitis B, if you have hepatitis B, your equivalent can get to hepatitis D.
D is like 8th stage.
Yeah. And hepatitis D, if you have hepatitis D and you have hepatitis B at the same time, it's very, very severe. It's very chronic. Then you have hepatitis E, just like hepatitis A, but mostly affects pregnant women. Yeah, so that's the difference.
You said hepatitis C is mother to child?
Hepatitis B.
B is mother to child,
Yes.
so it's hereditary?
Not hereditary. Let's say if the mother is infected.
Okay.
If the mother is not infected, fine. But if the mother is infected, that's when the child gets to have the hepatitis B.
So among all these types, which one should Nigerians be most concerned about and why?
B and C. To be concerned, we should all be concerned about B and C because we are exposed. Let me say this. I will always advise all Nigerians or everyone in the world, you should know your you should take your vaccines. Just take your vaccines. If you have not taken it before, always take it, because hepatitis B stays in the body for a long time. You don't know. You don't even know. It's not written in the face. Unless you know, if you know the person has it, then that's when you get to. And you're always having, we are always exposed through sex, and we always go to the salon, barb our hair. Objects.
It's like HIV.
Yeah, worst even.
Jesus.
Yeah, worst even. So, using objects that are not cleaned.
Yeah.
Yeah. Unsterilized objects. Thank you for that. Unsterilized objects, and having sexual partners. Also gays too. So mother to child. So those hepatitis B and C is very, very dangerous. So we should look out for it by taking our vaccines, knowing our hepatitis viral loads or status. Yeah.
These vaccines, is it something that you take frequently, regularly, or just once in a while and good
mostly,
to go?
Okay, mostly for the vaccines, when you are giving birth, you are given a vaccine within 24 hours. So you're given a hepatitis B vaccine. Vaccine and hepatitis B immunoglobulin. Oh. So those stays in your body and help you to fight those infections. And you reach a certain stage in life. There's this hepatitis B vaccine you take that if you have not taken before. Adults from 15 years old. Okay. You can take the first is 0 to 1 month, then 1 month to 6 months. So once you take the first one, 0 months, then you count on 1 month, you take the second one. Then after that, after 6 months again, you take another one. So once you take all these vaccines, then you are free from hepatitis B. You are free from it. But for hepatitis C, we don't have the vaccine. But the good news about it is, if early detected, it's curable, because we have an antiviral drug that is very, very good for it and cures it very well.
Have you taken these vaccines?
Yeah. Trust me, I've taken.
Yeah, 360.
I told you I'm 360, so I've taken everything.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Okay, so one thing that scares people is hearing that hepatitis can stay in the body for years without symptoms. That is hepatitis B and C specifically. So why is it so silent? What exactly is happening inside those body during those years?
Well, like I said, knowing hepatitis, status is very important, because early detection saves lives. People are always scared because they feel like if you're positive, life ends there. No. Early detection saves lives. So hepatitis always stays in the body for long, because hepatitis B and C, because there's always an exchange. When you get infected, immediately starts working, starts replicating. Your immune system detects it, and they start fighting. They start fighting. So there's always like an exchange of battle there. And to you, you are fine. To you, you feel very okay. You feel normal. You go about your life, jump in and do whatever you want to do, not knowing that something's wrong with you. So that's why it's silent. That's why it's silent. Unlike hepatitis A can be detected early. It shows itself early. But B and C are silent killers. So that's why early detection, that's why I said 3 months interval or 6 months interval is very, very good.
So I mean, there's no visible, okay, fine, for the hepatitis A, are there visible signs, visible symptoms? What are they?
Visible symptoms. You get to experience jaundice, just like a yellowish eye or skin. There's this, there's this bilirubin in our body that makes our stool brown. So if there's our stool brown.
Okay.
Yeah, so if your stool is not brown, that means the bilirubin is down.
What about when you take Zobo? The stool have a different color when you take Zobo. Does that affect anything?
Okay. Bilirubin, what it does is converts everything. If it's high, it makes your stool to be brown. That means you're healthy. But if your bilirubin is down, your stool becomes pale or grayish in color. That means you're And another thing is you get weak and you feel tired. Then there's always this pain in your upper right quadrant. So once you feel that pain, it's a sign that you should go and check yourself. If you start feeling that yellowish color, go and check yourself. It's very important.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you've already spoken on the transmission of the hepatitis, right?
Yeah, basically I've spoken, yeah.
So so that means, can we say that it's a communicable disease?
I would say it's communicable if you get in contact with someone who is infected. That's when it becomes communicable. Yeah, and there's other uncommunicable ones which are objects. So it's communicable through infected person.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So can someone, okay, you already said that someone with hepatitis can still feel completely fine.
Yeah, can feel completely fine.
And not know that there are things fighting within. So if someone gets test positive today, help us understand what treatment looks like today. Can it actually be cured?
Like I said, early detection is very important.
Yes.
Early detection. So, you know, early detection helps you to immediately attack it before it gets to chronic stage, damaging your liver. So, yeah, if you are tested positive, the life hasn't ended yet. You have the chances to live your life to a long time. You have the chance to live your life for long because, you know, there are medications that are there, and the medications are very, very proactive. They are active in the body. It helps your liver to be healthy and also fight the infection. Also boosts your immune system to fight the infection as well.
What about the presence of the hepatitis B and D in your body at the same time?
Yeah, like I said, early detection. If you detect hepatitis B on time, you can treat it. You don't have to go to the stage of D or chronic. It doesn't have to. You just have to, like I said, 3 months interval, 6 months interval. Once you detect it on time, you get to treat it on time. You get to manage it actually. C can be cured, but B, you manage it, and the person has to live a very good life without even transmitting to another person. And another thing is, you know, once you are detected early, it helps you to save your own family, people around you, because you already know your status now, and people around you know your status, so you just get to manage it properly and don't share some objects with people. So yeah.
Okay, so we've made a huge progress with HIV awareness.
Yeah.
As I was like, looks like they're similar. I think they're similar.
They are similar, yes, because their drugs are similar. The way they are, you know, multiplied in the body is similar too.
Okay, but HIV, does it affect the liver too?
No, it doesn't.
But they are kind of similar still. So why do you think hepatitis still don't receive the same level of public attention that HIV is receiving today?
Well, for HIV, I always congratulate the medical schools, congratulate the government for public announcement, also congratulate the international bodies who have also helped to make provisions of medications and awareness. They have done a lot of work when it comes to HIV. When it comes to hepatitis, I think there is still a lot of work to be done. I think there should be public engagements, public educations, creating awareness that will help people to understand that hepatitis B is actually very dangerous, more than HIV even. Very, very dangerous, because once your liver is gone, you are gone. So I think people, there should be education, awareness about hepatitis and stuff, so yeah.
Oh. So let's talk about babies. How important is it for newborns to receive hepatitis B vaccine shortly after birth?
It's very, very important because, you know, for kids, their immune is not yet strong. They are just trying to grow. So, you know, once they have been born, the vaccine should be given within 12 hours or 24 hours. And another thing is, if a mother is infected, then the healthcare professionals have to make arrangements for the vaccine so that they can manage the infection when being transmitted to the baby. So giving the vaccine helps the child to live long, stay long, and not die on time. And hepatitis on its own can cause serious damage to a mother if she's pregnant and having hepatitis. It can cause miscarriage, also cause fibroid, also cause birth defects. So
birth defect, I affect the baby immature.
Baby can be more prematurely. Yeah.
Sorry.
So yeah. So babies should always, mothers that are pregnant should always be screened to know if they have hepatitis, you know, if they are positive or negative. And for the babies, also vaccine is very important for them so that their immune can grow and they can be, you know, they can be fighting any infection that comes in.
Yeah. Okay, so what lifestyle habits can worsen liver damage in someone living with hepatitis?
I'll just say, we Nigerians, we have this habit of taking too much painkillers all the time. It's bad. Not everything requires painkillers. Sometimes it's just rest. You just need to rest, drink enough water and just rest. But we Nigerians, we take a lot of painkillers, especially paracetamol, and taking alcohol, very bad, very, very bad. Smoking, very, very bad. And taking too much antibiotics, especially the augmentin. You know, people just go to the pharmacy, I want augmentin, I need augmentin. So augmentin alone causes hepatitis too much of it. Even the paracetamol itself, and there's some tuberculotic medications that also cause hepatitis. Yeah, the isoniazid, and another one is pyroxamide. They cause hepatitis too. So I think we should help ourselves by proper hygiene, not always taking too much painkillers, taking medications as prescribed, no self-medication, and avoid herbal medicines. Herbal medicines are so bad because they are hardly regulated. So you need to just make sure that they are NAFDAC approved and make sure it doesn't affect your liver.
My next question is about herbal medicine. I was like, can herbs actually cure it?
No, it can't. It doesn't. No, I won't say it can't, but there's no evidence yet. But I hopefully there should be someday. Yeah.
Wow. I was so surprised hearing like painkillers was like the last on my mind for lifestyle habits. But like, I heard that you can also get to a stage where there's something called antibiotics resistance. Yeah.
Antibiotic resistance occurs like when you self-medicate or you don't take the medication as prescribed. And that thing I forgot to mention is, you know, being too fat.
Being too fat?
Yeah. Having too much of being obese is bad. Yeah. And also being diabetic has a lot of, you know, side effects, has a lot of effects. So I will always advise people to keep healthy lifestyle and make sure they always exercise, avoid too much caffeinated drinks, because also the caffeine is energy drinks, yeah. They are very coffee that are caffeinated. Some are not caffeinated, some are caffeinated. So you should avoid the caffeinated ones. They are very bad.
I usually ask my guests this. I don't know why I not ask you, tea or coffee? For you, what like your preference?
Well, coffee, but not the caffeinated ones.
Are they non-caffeinated ones?
Yeah, there are some that are not caffeinated.
Okay.
Yes.
And those are the things we have to avoid. What about healthy habits then?
Eating healthy is very important. I know Nigeria is a bit tough. We cannot get most of the nutrients our body needs from food. So I also advise people to go about taking some vitamins, but not on too much. Taking some vitamins, that's if you have confirmed that you are liking so vitamins, then you can go about taking it. And exercise is also good, but mostly eating healthy, avoiding too much of sugar, avoiding too much of salt. Healthy habit.
Okay, that's beautiful.
Being 360.
Being 360. If you could change one misconception Nigerians have about hepatitis today, what would it be?
I would say you being healthy, you feeling healthy or being seen healthy or you admire yourself being healthy doesn't mean that you are healthy. Always try to go about checking yourself, do some checkups, do some tests. It's very, very important for any human. Early detection saves lives and saves people around you. That's my advice.
Thank you so much, pharmacist. So we've come to the end of our main conversation.
Okay.
We're moving on to our next segment. Okay. Everybody's favorite, at least mine. It's called the healthcare police.
Okay.
Bust or trust. You are the police here, while the statements I'll be throwing to you are the criminals. So you catch them and handcuff them.
I love to catch things.
You tell us whether these statements are true, that is trust, or they are false, busts.
Okay, trust or busts.
Yeah, these are myths hiding behind facts.
Okay.
Okay, are you ready? Okay. If I look healthy, I definitely don't have hepatitis.
Bust.
Okay. Hepatitis B vaccination gives long-term protection.
Trust.
Only people who drink alcohol get liver disease.
Liver disease, bust.
Only people who drink alcohol. It's not only them.
Only people who drink alcohol get liver disease. Yes,
Yeah.
trust, sorry.
Okay.
Yes.
You should only get tested. Wait a minute. This during the question of lifestyle habits, you did not just mention alcohol, you mentioned other things too.
Mhm.
So what if you do other things but you don't actually take alcohol? Can you still get hepatitis?
As long as you are taking caffeinated drinks, you can. And if your environment is unhealthy, if you're not keeping proper hygiene, you can. Remember, hepatitis A is there. You can get hepatitis through contaminated food.
And this
Water.
liver disease is mainly for just hepatitis, or are there other diseases that attack the liver as well?
Yeah, a lot of them attack the liver. A lot of diseases attack the liver too. The liver is the main
Hot
place
cake.
for, detoxification. So once it stops working, no detoxification anymore. That's when you experience swelling a lot.
Swelling the liver.
Yeah, swelling the abdomen, swelling your leg. Yeah, because fluid is already accumulating. Yeah,
Okay. You should only get tested if you're already feeling sick.
you should only get as many
Bust or trust.
Bust
You should get tested every time.
every time.
Pregnant women should know their hepatitis B status.
Trust.
Just B.
No, not B actually. Only B tests.
In as much as it's very vital, is that the only thing we should be looking out for?
I would say boss because E is there and B is there. So you should also just know your hepatitis status, not just only one.
But these tests that you go for, is there does it specifically channel to one hepatitis?
The most common one is B and C.
Yes.
Yeah, that's the most common one.
Okay.
So that's why you should always focus on knowing your hepatitis B and C status.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Everyone who has hepatitis will eventually develop liver cancer.
Boss.
Please, can you evaluate? Can you?
As long as
expand?
there's early detection and you're taking your antiviral medications, you will not have any liver cancer. That's if you early detect it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Using unsterilized instruments for tattoos, piercings, or traditional procedures can increase hepatitis risk.
Trust.
Okay. Lastly, in 1 minute, can you give the audience a call to action about hepatitis?
Well, I will say to the public, you knowing the information about hepatitis does not mean you shouldn't share. You should go about sharing it. Share to people, tell your neighbors, tell your family about hepatitis, how it's been detected, how it's been prevented, and also know your hepatitis status is very, very important. It helps you to protect yourself, your body, and people around you. So that's the only thing I can say.
Thank you so much for being on Health 360.
Thank you
We
for having
appreciate
me.
you coming. Thank you for sharing your insightful knowledge and letting us know about it, for the advice and everything. We are grateful.
Thank you for
Health
having me.
conversations like this save lives because awareness is key.
Yeah, I'm always.
Okay. Health conversations like this save lives because awareness is often the first treatment. And to everyone watching, here's today's challenge. Have you ever been tested for hepatitis? If yes, what made you take that step? If no, what's stopping you? Join the conversation in the comments because someone else's question could answer yours. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe because every share could help someone discover what they never knew about hepatitis. I am Martha Opalanedu, and this has been Health 360 on S24 Television. Until next time, bye for now.
Uzi. See, my sister will soon go off now, and we've not had light for almost 5 days.
It's you that is complaining. Rich people like us, we have solar. When the solar is off, we buy fuel.
Ha, Nigeria, my country. What kind of problem is this? And drivers are also complaining that fuel prices keep rising, and people cannot even afford to pay. You see people trekking long distances.
People will afford it because they have to go to work. How do they get to work? Drivers should just increase the transportation fare. They will manage.
After all, Nigerians who can adapt, suffering and smiling. And another thing, ASU. Ah, so we're about to go on strike again.
Wahala for who they go government school. Oh. People are now putting their children in private school. You're still talking about government. See, Didi, you're the one that is complaining. Me, I'm thinking of making it big.
You make it big. Oh, as a common and a poor person, what will I do? Leave Nigeria with this problem.
You see, it's so unfortunate how Nigerians often just adapt, even when the situation is extremely inconvenient. Many people prefer to adjust and survive rather than hold their leaders accountable for the country's economic hardship and poor governance. From rising fuel prices to expensive goods, bad roads, unstable electricity, and challenges in the system, citizens continue to endure and move on as if suffering has become normal. After the removal of fuel subsidy in 2023, petrol prices rose from about 185 per litre to over 1,000. Even the gas is now about 2,000 naira. These also increased transportation costs and the prices of food and basic goods. Inflation rose above 30% in 2024, making life more difficult for average Nigerians. Yet, instead of demanding better policies and accountability, many people simply adapt by finding side hustles, cutting expenses, relocating, or managing hardship daily. Nigerians are naturally resilient and hardworking, but resilience should not replace responsible leadership. Citizens deserve good infrastructure, stable economic policy, quality education, affordable living, and leaders who truly address the problems facing the country instead of leaving people to keep adapting to hardship.
Hello. From a rather unusual way of preserving yam to a painful childhood revelation, and the question over donated medical supplies allegedly ending up for sale. These are the stories currently getting people talking. Welcome to Top Trend here on Morning Digest. I am Khadija Mohammed, and joining me to unpack these trendy stories is Solomon. Good morning, Solomon.
Khadija, good morning.
It's actually great to have you here again.
Abi, as usual.
Of course. So let's actually go to our first topic today, which is in Lagos. We actually saw an unusual video, which is actually making rounds online on the guy that was actually preserving a yam. Can you imagine? He's actually bringing yam out of the gutter. And when he was actually questioned about what he was doing, he claimed he was actually preserving the yam. Of course, but let's take a look on that video and then we'll come back to digest this with Solomon.
Rubbish, Lele.
Look up. Ó máa rí sá, ó máa kó sínú bẹ̀. Kò lè lọ, òun náà máa wọ kọ́tà ní ẹ̀. Inú àná lọ tó kóṣù náà tẹ́lẹ̀.
Omi gọ́tà lélẹ́yìí. That's rubbish.
Ẹyin náà wá dúró gbogbo tí èèyàn fẹ́ parẹ́ ni. Oyin kú ẹ̀ o, ẹ wò lọ. Ẹni tó bá ra ṣu báyìí àti kẹ́lọ́ ra yọ̀ bá tún pọ̀.
Okay, we've just watched that video right now, and the explanation has actually left so many people confused. Because when most people hear preserving yam, right, a gutter is probably the last place that actually comes to somebody's mind. So, Solomon, what do you actually make of this video and this simply unusual preservation method? Or is there something else that people should, be concerned about?
Yeah. You see, when I was growing up in a village, one of the ways I know how they preserve the yam is, they built these silos. Where you gather your harvest and you put it inside. I think they use like a mud, kind of the house is like a room, but like it's around.
Yeah.
Then, or they will use like a yam barn. They'll put trees and arrange the yam on it. But this one is quite strange. even though in world we're allowed to innovate, however, the innovation must not be at the detriment of our well-being. This guy is putting the yam in gutter. Gutter is what we call a sewage where people drop all kind of dirt. That even see mad people defecating inside the gutter. And one thing you don't know about, we should know about this yam is that they have like the bodies, they can suck in dirt, water. So he may be trying to preserve that yam, but in the end, he's preserving something else with that yam. And this is why when you take, and this is, people have been advocating for growing your own food, because the things we are consuming these days, I was discussing with a colleague of mine yesterday. I said, now you see children of 9 years going down with different kind of ailments. They were telling you kidney failure. And it all can be tied to the kind of things we consume. So I feel the appropriate authorities should start curbing. These are the ones we are seeing. What about the ones we don't see?
Yeah.
So this is my take, really.
Okay, so immediately when I saw that video, so it got actually, I started doing some research to see in biology if there's any way that because I know we have different kind of preservation method. So I was now wondering, like, looking back at the comment section of that video, I went there and there somebody was actually trying to give a biological term of that, only for me to reach to the end of the comment section, and then he was like, if you believe what I said on your own. Do you get? So I was like, the people who was actually like videoing this, and then we got a lot of people saying he stole the yam. The whole question, even if he should steal that yam or something, that should be like and of course we know how Lagos is. We know how the environmental pollution of when it comes to the waste disposal and everything. Under that same video, there were actually some videos again. A security man was actually pouring a bunch, like a whole dustbin of waste in a gutter.
Yes.
And you're telling me a yam that you want to eat, or probably give it to a family, or rather maybe you even want to sell it to an outsider. Because this particular video now, let's say he doesn't even have a family. Do you know, if not for the fact that, okay, maybe they were actually videoing him, he can go and sell that yam.
Khadija, not he can go and sell that yam. That is his aim. And this thing we are discussing, we'll actually be discussing it in soberness of heart and in tears. Ask me why. Your food is your drug.
Yes.
In short, there are physicians who tell you that what you eat is actually the medicine that preserves your body. I don't know if you stumbled on a clip a few weeks ago about a lady that was selling akamu, what they call that cocoa, and it was using sniper to kill insects.
In the place.
Yes, you know when you sell this cocoa, this local flies. So he covered the cocoa, but it was not using sniper. So these are people who, they are not educated, and this is just their own crude attempt to try and curb whatever challenges they are facing. This is also an indictment on our government to say, okay, these are people who, they are not educated, but they're entrepreneurs, they are doing business, and this is just their crude invention to make sure their goods is preserved and they make gain. It is an opportunity for the people who are in such agencies, those agricultural agencies, health agencies, to start doing enough sensitization to these rural areas. We've seen that some of these sensitizations people do these days are just window dressing. They come to Abuja, the urban area, just pull flyers, they'll call it 30 billion investment, but the real people who grow these foods are in the remote areas. They are in the rural areas. Penetrate those people. Those people they've not even seen the four walls of a school. Or that if until that person now, that lady who is trying to use a sniper to deter flies away from his cocoa, now he thinks he's helping the people that he's selling the food to.
Or maybe rather she feels like it's a way for her to maybe make her environment clean. So
Thank you. So this is a sincere attempt. But what we don't know is that you can be sincere and be sincerely wrong. It is now our opportunity to educate the woman. Say, this thing you are using to deter this fly, it doesn't have the capability to kill only flies. It can also kill humans.
Yeah, because imagine if that sniper mistakenly should just,
it's not mistakenly to enter.
Like
it
definitely
will
you are
in.
killing.
Because if she says she closed the or rubber.
Yes.
What about the plates she's using to serve?
Definitely.
So it will filter. There's something they call diffusion. Diffusion, what does diffusion do? I think it moves from higher concentration to lower concentration. The gas, it flows. So before you know, it will filter into those plates. You take cocoa, before you know, your stomach starts turning. I don't know, there's a guy called Olo. He's also on Instagram, on social media. He started doing an experiment for the past 2 weeks. He said he was in traffic and he bought a bottled water. I'm not saying sachet water, bottled water. He said immediately he drank, he just took a gulp, not too long, his stomach started churning him. Very painful. He was like, what is this sharp pain I'm feeling? So he told himself, he said, I'm not going to finish this water, I will preserve some when I get home. And he bought like a water tester to test the purification of water. So what that gadget does is when you dip the gadget into the water, if it shows green,
it means
it's good. No, it's good to drink. Okay. But if it shows red, it's not good to drink. So he started testing some of those waters, and majority of those waters were not fit to drink. So what did he discover that most of those waters were not directly from the factory. They were just imitations. So he was not trying to sensitize his public. Be careful what you drink.
Yes.
It's funny to to interest you, right? He went home. Their tap water. He did a test on it. The tap water is even more pure than some of those street bottled waters. Why I'm not digressing. Why did I go to that extent to tell you that a lot of the things we ingest into our system, we need to take a very precautionary measure and be intentional. You know, there is this street lingua when we're young, they say black man no they die. But they say they think they kill black man. It's a lie. Those are just fallacy. It kills. It gradually kills. Now our mortality rate, our mortality rate is now, we see people of 50. It shouldn't be so. So this is concerning really for me.
So I think let's come back to our street food now. I think I'm a lover of street food, like I personally. But at the same time,
they have this interesting taste.
At the same time, I'm always scared of, buying things from the street people because, there are some videos that we've seen online. You see that whereby a woman selling food, you see that only for her, like, should be caught on a camera that somebody is videoing her, putting some things that, or maybe washing her. So all those kind of things, honestly, if you ask me, it's kind of irritating. But at the same time, their food is actually sweet, though. But when you think about, how they do it, how they go about it, and of course, it was last month. I was coming back from, I think, Jabi, and I was just passing by, and I saw this street food like jollof rice, all these wedding jollof rice with sausage and everything. I was like, oh my God, I really have to just go and buy this thing. I went there. I didn't even think about, how did she preserve it? How did she even do it? I don't care. My own is, it actually looks so attractive for me. And then I decided to just go and buy the food. The honest review was the food was actually nice, but of course, I did not know what happened behind the scene. So I think, what do you think like our government should do when it comes to all these people, selling street food? Because honestly, I can just wake up one day and say I want to start selling food, and I'll just go and look for one location, and nobody will come and meet me to say, okay, did you taste the food? No, it's business, and I just started the business. So what do you think the government should do when it comes to all these people selling street food?
You see, right? Like you said, the honest review is actually sweet. Why? Because most of these people, the proper people who do those buka food by the roadside street food, they use the indigenous ingredients. They don't use all of these modern seasonings that are heavily chemicalized.
Okay, I don't want to cut you short, Mr. Solomon. I think I would want you to, digest this more.
Problem.
But let's go on a quick break, and then of course we'll come back and then we'll continue from where we stop.
All right.
Okay, welcome back. This is Top Trend on Morning Digest. If you're still joining us, Solomon, sorry I called you off before we go on a short break. So I would actually want you to continue from where you stopped.
So like I was supporting what you said about how that the food is actually, their food is actually
nice,
tasty, nice, because I grew up in a village. These people make use of indigenous recipes. They don't really use these modern seasonings that heavily. I don't want to use artificial so that they will not come for me and say, "What do you know about food? You're just a bloody man."
Yes.
So all these artificial sweeteners are heavily chemicalized. But when you grow up in a village, I remember my grandma, even my mom then, there are all these leaves, these upa leaves, there's something we call iru. There's a way they blend all of it. When you taste it,
food is usually nice.
So this is the practice they brought to the street. However, because of the limited education that they have, the limited exposure that they have, the government needs to support them. It's okay, this is your practice, this is your entrepreneurship, this is your way of cooking. It's good, but we need to educate you on the aspect of how to preserve them. And this is how it is. In the village, there are many preservative methods. There's called sorting, there's called drying, all of those things. But when you see people now, I don't even know who introduced the use of using those chemicals, all those sprays. So it's harmful. So you're asking, what should the government do? The government should invest in sensitizing the public, especially those in the rural area, that these things, you're already cooking a nice meal. So even these chemicals you are trying to use as a deterrent for these flies, they will also harm your food. And in turn, will affect your business. How? Because if I come to patronize you, and someone eats and the person dies, and maybe 5 minutes afterwards, and they do an autopsy test and they discover that a chemical trace was found in the person's system tied to the food that you're selling. They can shut down your business forever. So if that sensitization is done appropriately, they would also change, because I believe their aim is to make money, not necessarily to keep people. Because if you kill your customer today, who will buy from you?
Nobody will patronize you, definitely.
So I believe they are sincere, but they're just sincerely wrong.
Okay, so I'm beyond the humor surrounding the videos. Also, raises question about food hygiene and the condition in which food meant for consumption is being stored. So of course we just actually discussed that, and you've already told people. So the whole point is that people should I use the word, people should learn to do research. No matter how maybe, I don't want to use the word lazy, but learn to do research before doing anything, especially the street food. I tell you, I'm a fan of street food. When it comes to all those corn, granuts, I do not even know how they actually do, all those things behind the scene. But of course, I always patronize them because theirs is always sweet. So moving on to our second story, which takes us much serious and sensitive turn. A lady has gone online to share a painful account of her childhood, saying her mother played a role in an experience that eventually led to her losing her virginity, right? So the revelation has actually sparked conversation, Solomon, and parental responsibility and the long-term effect that difficult experiences during childhood can have a person's life, actually. So it's obviously a very sensitive subject when stories like this come into the public space. How important is it for us to, look beyond the viral aspect and actually consider the trauma? But then let's actually take a look on that video, and then we'll come back to digest this with Solomon.
I've not told anybody. The only two people that knows this, my mother and my husband. How I lost my virginity. My mother took the virginity from me, and this is what happened. But before I explain what happened, before I tell this story, I don't care if you judge me or not. I know a lot of you will start saying, she's your mother, no matter what. She carried you for 9 months. If she hated you, she would have removed you. I wish she actually removed me then, because what I went through, I don't understand. And up to today, I don't still understand. So if you want to judge me, judge me. I have daughters, I have children that I don't even know. I need to train them right. I don't want to end up like my mother. I don't want to do to them what my mother did to me. Do you understand? I can't even scold my daughter even when she's wrong. Every time I try to scold her, I have this fear. I have this anxiety. If I spank her, I have to go and beg her. I have to tell her, I'm sorry, give me a hug, because I don't want to be like my mother. So if you want to judge me, please, by all means, go ahead and judge me. I don't care. Call me names, because everybody's thinking now that we are old, everybody's saying, don't share your story, don't talk, you hurt your mother, how will she feel, how will the community see her, this and that. What of the daughter, what of me, what of that inner child that wants to heal? You don't understand. Okay, let me tell you the story. So growing up, I've always liked boys. No doubt. I've always liked boys. I never liked the company of girls. I've always wanted to be around boys. I just don't know. But I've always wanted to be around boys. And us millennials, growing up back then, you remember that whenever you are always navigating toward boys, your mother will automatically think that they will impregnate you. All those kind of things. And then, even at that, a lot of people still got pregnant at that period. But so,
Okay, welcome back, and this is Top Trend. Of course, we're talking about the childhood trauma. And Solomon, I actually watched that video yesterday, and believe me when I tell you, like, I actually shed tears watching that video. Because the story she was, when I think she couldn't even hold it anymore, that she started crying. And of course, that actually connected to me, like, how will a mother, like, you gave birth to me? Before I finish watching that video, I get to ask myself, are you sure she actually gave birth to her? Like, oh God.
You see, I watched the video and I was fighting back different kinds of emotion. I felt anger, I felt rage, I felt pain. But beyond all of those emotions, I sat down to ask what has led to it. Because in the video, she was describing how her mom took her virginity, because then first I will take it from her statement. She said first, growing up, she just liked being around boys. And this is it. Every negative behavior is learned. As humans, we rarely come with the wicked emotions or bad behavior. So she was just innocently attracted to boys. She just felt she's more at peace. And growing up, I've seen ladies like that. They're not necessarily promiscuous. They just find solace amongst the opposite.
I think I'm part of
Yes,
those girls.
and you see that even the activities that even get their attention, and even the activities that guys do, they love to play ball. It's just their consolation. Believe you me, they are not even nursing any negative or dirty intention. So that is where I want to start the conversation from. But she comes to her mom. Her mom discovered that attribute, and she immediately thought the daughter is going wayward. This is where I will come from. Sometimes as a parent, you train your child from the abundance of your fear. One. Secondly, maybe the mother is uneducated, and all her desire would have been that she want a girl child that should be grown and then have a proper education. Then, due to our level of, I don't want to use the word ignorance, our level of exposure, she thought the only way I can get this girl to grow up in the kind of life I would want is to instill fear and give her a tough parenting. But what she does not know is that in the course of giving her tough parenting, you've caused so much damage. Because this thing that happened to her now is more than 20 years, but she's still reliving the experience as if it was yesterday. So first, this is a wake-up call for parents, and also we parents, to say that every parent grew up in a different generation to the child that they have. First, you must study to understand your child before you even properly train them.
Yes.
Because what most parents do is to impose. How do I mean impose? Impose your lived reality. It might even be that she also, the parent, got pregnant outside wedlock.
Yes.
So that fear, see, that's why I say you remember what did you and I, or what is it called, Gladys, where we talked about how that most times parents choose a cause for their children because they want to perpetuate the dream they could not have in the life of their children. Maybe she got pregnant outside wedlock. That fear is still haunting her. So she's training a child from the abundance of her pain, from the abundance of her trauma. Because believe you me, Khadija, traumatized people raise traumatized children.
But that's inhumane, actually.
I'm very inhumane. I'm going somewhere. Hurting people hurt others. That woman does not know that she's hurt. Now she's raised in a very dysfunctional environment.
Yes.
She's now also raising another dysfunctional child. Because believe you me, this lady is not healed yet. She's seeking for closure. And we have plethora of children with that pain. Even you and I.
Yeah.
I don't know the kind of family you agree in, where I don't think most people, especially the millennials, I don't know about the Gen Z, you can really have a sit-down conversation with your parent. Say, Daddy, I want to see you. Even to ask for your school fee, you dey read your father mood like weather.
Yes.
If you open door,
yes, that's true.
if you open door, maybe you just open door. Your plan is to ask him for your school fee, and you say, Daddy, the way that
yes.
You just say. You just throw to the toilet. You don't plan to go to the toilet. Wait, I say no. I just think I greet you. Pass.
Yes.
So we don't have like a healthy relationship with the parent. So I'm commending what's her name, Angela Nwosu for summoning that courage to put her. It's not easy.
It's not
to put
easy.
in your. It's more like you're shielding yourself. You're stripping yourself naked to the public to say this is the wound I have carried. And let me tell you, they did a survey one time. I don't know if I'm sorry. Pardon me for taking your time. They did a survey one time whereby they go into prison and they discover that 90% of people who end up in prison are raised in a dysfunctional home. She even mentioned, she said, my parents were raising me with that kind of wicked parenting, thinking I would turn out good. Say, but I end up doing things that are worse because after that experience, she said she was now describing that harrowing experience to the father. Even when her mom pinned her down, her dad had to use his leg.
Yes, on her chest.
What is going on in their head is we won't show you saying I will be your parent. So that when after we deal with you, anytime you want to go and practice another bad thing, you will discover that you have a tough parent. But it doesn't cut it like that. She said after the experience, she grew up to be the worst.
Definitely.
So I'm craving the dangers of every parent. Let's re-strategize, especially African home. Let's re-strategize on how we're actually raising our parents. Most of us does not have a healthy relationship with our parents. I think I will stop here for now.
Okay. So you actually said a lot of things that made me to come back. I have this short story. I think while I was in secondary school, I always believed I just like being in the clique of guys all the time. So I like giving stories if I come back home. I used to tell my mom that today me and Ebuka did this. Me and Jonathan did this.
Innocently.
So, do you get? So I think for almost a week, then she will now be like, me, is it every day Ebuka? She have never heard me call Deborah. She have never heard me call Halima, all those things. So I was like, all the time. So I was like, I was not telling my mom that she should understand that the guys that
and they don't have problem. They don't keep malice. They don't envy.
And no, I'm a boy. Not like our fellow girls. Like every small thing. And did you know that Khadija did so all those things. So I try as much as possible to avoid it. But honestly, it was just so honest that I did not even think about anything. That will bring me to the guys or maybe making
nothing
them touch.
Nothing
sexual between us and everything. So the whole point that this particular video, when I watched it, she said, you see that part where she said the dad pinned her. At the end of the day, she could actually not, she just had to make the parent believe that she did what they were suspecting her. Even though she did not do. She made mention of it, she said she was not even thinking straight. Because she was like, what the mom was actually doing, the pain, she was like, okay, yes, mommy, yes. So say happen.
She was saying it under duress.
Yes, because maybe she was thinking, she's saying it would actually reduce that pain. I don't know if you watched this movie, Monica.
I heard about it. I didn't watch it.
If you watch that movie, I will tell you, when she did that video, if you look at the comment section, there were a lot of people that came to the comment section saying, oh God, I thought I was the only one that have this kind of thing. To show you there are millions of people facing this kind of thing, but they cannot speak up.
Do you know that you've seen, I don't know if you've seen girls, friends who are in an abusive relationship. And I'm telling the lady, leave this guy alone. And she's telling you why. She said, she's in the back of her mind is like, if this guy, who is not my relative, the wickedness you think this guy is even showing me is even less than what my parents is showing me. So are telling me to leave this guy and go back to who? Because what parents don't know is that when you make an environment toxic for a child, you've recalibrated their worldview about what life is. You've shown them that good people don't exist. So when they find a less evil person, not a good person, a less evil person, they'll go with the flow. That is why children who are raised in an abusive marriage, most often than not, end up marrying an abusive partner
Mm.
because they don't know better.
Exactly.
They don't know that a world exists where you can have a good and loving and caring partner.
Yeah, and sometimes they feel like the maltreatment and everything, they feel like is not
Yes,
serious.
Angela was saying,
it's
she
a
said
good
at the
thing.
point, she said, Abi or was, or maybe because I'm too stubborn.
Mm.
Maybe that was why. She's just trying to rationalize
Yes,
it.
yes.
Because she could not fathom why my biological mother would inflict such pain on me.
Mm.
And guess what? The fear, what the mother was trying to curtail is what she actually inflicted on her child. She was the one who actually even caused her to lose her
Yes,
virginity.
yes.
Because she broke her hymen by
Yes.
trying to force her way
Yes.
through her.
So I think I have a story to share with you, Solomon, but let's go on a short break, and then if we are back, we get to digest it. So if you're just joining us, just wait a little bit. This is Top Trend, and we'll be back in the next few seconds. Okay, welcome back, and this is Top Trend on Morning Digest. Solomon, you know I told you quickly. Let me just give you a short story on. You mentioned something about like a boyfriend relationship thing.
Yeah.
So I remember while I was in university, there was this lady in arts department. So I knew her through my roommate. She stays with you are in school, but she stays with her boyfriend like off campus.
Yes, this cohabiting stuff.
Yes, so she comes to the lecture like maybe most of the time with her eyes swollen, red,
Blisters.
you know, all those things.
Black
And
eye.
yes. Meanwhile, that same person, the same so-called boyfriend is her classmate.
Oh, interesting.
Yes. So they were actually living together, and everybody kept wondering what's really wrong with this girl. The whole point is this guy was actually maltreating her, beating her. He will go out probably, and then I kept on thinking, is it because of the zobo and bones he's giving her? Or no, tell me why I will be with somebody that you be beating me and one day and then I will not pack my things. What are you giving me?
Yeah.
Like, what are you giving me? Because the story had to, her classmates actually get to know the reason, and they had to report it to the department, which you see, this is actually a personal problem. But then, because of the, you know, should I say, sympathy or something empathy, empathy, and people were actually seeing, they just decided to take it up to the department. So the whole point is, I don't really know if you are my mother and you are doing this kind of thing.
You know, when you were having this conversation, it had a common denominator with the first conversation we had about the guy who was trying to preserve his yam in a gutter.
Yes.
You see, school not be scam. Education is not a scam. What education does for you is when you go into the 4 walls of the university, secondary school, the layers of exposures it gives you, beyond able to read and write, you are interacting with people from diverse background. You get to learn, okay, this is what these people do in the culture. You ask questions, they interact with you. As we are conversing now, we're exchanging knowledge.
Yeah.
So you see, most times, most of these are parents, they were raised in, I don't want to use the word stone age, but grandmas who have never even seen a television, they feel the only language they understood is violence, because they feel violence when your child can fear you, your child will obey you. But there's a vast difference between fear and reverence. What do I mean? Fear is me shivering around you. Fear is me not being, sensing I'm in danger around you. Reverence is reverence is born out of respect. This person, what the impact this person has made in my life. I just have a reverential fear, honor for this person. But most times our African parents misconstrued it too. You can actually nurture a child in healthy. If your child is very comfortable with you, I do a lot of programs around young people and teenagers. I discovered most of the children, teenagers that would think that they're into their share were never really an introvert. It is their environment, their pattern of how they were brought up. They kill the baby in them. You see, you two they talk. A child, we are in a broadcasting environment. It's a gift. Talking is a gift. So we discover that a child from that 3, 4, 5 years, you see that the child even watch Nollywood would want to narrate the whole event. Story. The mother says, wait, you two they talk. Yeah. So those things as now somebody said on a letter, somebody said, are you an introverted or you are broke? Sometimes some of those children are not introverted, but they've been beaten to be introverted. So then again, to come back to sensitization, parents need to start going for seminars. I also understand that there's another bigger side where people leave this hard parenting and go to the soft parenting where you don't even you don't caution the child. I'm not saying about that, but parents need to have a sit down and say, okay, I was very harsh with this child. How did it turn out? I was harsh with this one. How did it turn out? Did they really do what I trained them to do? So in the end, we'll see that violent type of training did not really yield any results. So we must come back to the drawing board really and have a rethink. It is my take.
Thank you so much, Solomon. I think you said something like we need to come back to the drawing board, which is very important. Parents should understand that strictness actually is not the way forward with your child, right? So I feel like even if you notice your child is going astray or like the negative part, I think if you should ask me, I will tell you like the way you can bring that child back is by he's doing the wrong thing, but it's by loving him with that thing. You get by loving him with that particular thing, and then at the same time showing him that guy, what you are doing is not good. You get, and sometimes you can even also if you're a Christian, you can tell him that in the Bible, so person in this you will go to hell. Children they usually used to be scared when you hear fire and heaven. Oh, you want to go to heaven? Yay! Want to go? No, I don't want to. So you can bring some scriptures to be telling the children so that they will understand all of this. But of course, going harsh on your children is not the way forward.
This is not even going harsh. Going physically harmful.
Physically harmful, yes. Let's use the word. So moving on to our final story of the day, which is a lawmaker in Nasarawa State actually went to he donated. Sorry, Solomon is actually making me to laugh because he actually saw the video. So a Nasarawa State lawmaker is demanding answers, after reportedly discovering that items he donated to a hospital were allegedly being sold by some hospital staff. The lawmaker is now seeking an explanation over what happened to the donated items and how they allegedly ended up in the hands of people who were selling them. But let's take a look at that video, and then of course me and Solomon will get to digest this particular trend.
Doctor, you remember the last time I spoke with you about those orthopedic mattresses? You remember what you told me? This man, do you know me? That's why I said, can I get under the same domain? Don't allow me to be very upset with you. Why are you lying to me? How can you tell me, this is the mattress I bought? Can I show you the mattresses I bought? I bought it for my people. Where is the ceiling fans? Where are the ceiling fans? I bought more than 50 ceiling fans. The standing fan, I bought about 40. Where are they? Look at the condition of my people. You are telling me. I'm coming now. You are telling me, Chewa, you are taking the mattresses around the world. I said, okay, take me to the world. Where are they? Let me see them. Because I've had a discussion with the doctor. He told me that the mattresses are selling before. I told him, I said, please, take it back.
Okay, welcome back. You just watched that video, and of course, I kept on laughing, even though honestly it's not funny. Solomon, if donation is are made to support patients and improve our healthcare services, what does the situation like this say about accountability within the public health institution? What do you have to say about that?
See, Adija, there is no mincing words. We are evil people. See, I'm not laughing.
It's not everybody that is evil, Solomon.
Yeah, see, there's something they call population. Let me use the word statistics, right? When a majority of people, when a particular character is dominant in a race, you can say this particular people, this is what they are known for, even though it is not all of them. But Khadija, I repeat, without mincing words, we are evil people. Ask me why.
Okay, why?
When this, why is laughing now? When this, Shane and Lawmaker, when he was talking, and he was saying, where's the orthopedic bed? This wicked guy that was, I know was, maybe they even don't give him a cut, was saying, Organa, the bed, me, I don't know where is bad. So, you know what pained me in that scene was, there's a patient who that bed was meant for, sleeping on another bed that is discomforting. There's a patient lying down on that same bed who the fan they also bought to make that place conducive has been stolen.
Yeah.
So do you know, I said, I'm going back to the famous word of late Professor Pius Adeyemi. He said, the needless death Nigerians die. Majority of people who die, most times in all of these public hospitals, are not meant to die. When you're already, if the sickness will carry you, go there, no kill you, the discomforting environment can kill you. I saw a clip, to buttress of, I saw a clip of an hospital where rain was falling and the whole of the hospital was flooded. At least the water was at least to a certain level. It just I didn't soak the foam, but was to down. How can you get rid of mosquito in that kind of environment? So that's why I repeat again, Khadija, we are evil people. Because if you think about the ripple effect of your decision, you won't take it. How much would they? Let me assume that the whole of that hospital, maybe the workers are 30.
Yes.
That the man said, I think they donated 50 or 20 beds and 50 fans.
More than 50.
Okay.
It's more than 50.
Okay, believe you me, they can't sell those things at the same market price because now stolen goods.
Yeah.
So let's say the bed is 100K, they'll sell it for 60K. How much really go reach you? Where you won't sacrifice, let me say it in our student, where you won't sacrifice the life of your fellow man. So when you are comfortable to pocket the money from an orthopedic, stolen orthopedic bed and watch your fellow man take his last breath for greed. And that's 60K, 100K. Let's even say it was worst case scenario, 200K would vanish. So this is why I repeat, we are evil people. We don't think, we don't have a long time. We are people who will eat our now, eat our future, and eat the future of our children's children. I was speaking with an elderly friend, and he said, Solomon, he said, do you think politicians are the evil people? He said, no. He said they are government workers. He said it is government workers who knows where the dead bodies are buried, who teaches the politicians how to siphon money.
Yeah.
There was a young medical officer who was serving then in a public hospital. He said he noticed, they used to give them supplies from he noticed they will give them supplies in injection or those things. 1 week, it's finished. So he will not ask, Oga, where is this thing? He said, no, the head of the hospital sold it. So or they will pack it, keep it, and they will tell the patient, you will go find money buy or give this money they go buy for you. They will give money, they will not go and sell. So it's just, this thing, what I say about these things is they are spending blood money.
What you just finished saying, and that brought me to the comment section. We got a lot of people saying that there's someone made a comment saying it's good for the politician that is them in his word, how did the politician felt when down? Share the politician doesn't steal money from the government. So and then another person also commented on that we are I think we are as Nigerians we are our own problem. Which, if you ask me, I think I will tell you is truth. If the politician is stealing, what does that have to do with you? That you are in the you are in the rank. Do you get? So if that particular thing should come to your place, you have no right. You have no right in any way for you to siphon or pack all those things and go and sell.
Let me tell you, in conjunction with this story,
Yeah.
I saw one, was a few months ago, in Lagos State University in hospital. You know, light is not stable, electricity is not stable, so they make use of diesel sometimes, right? This a high-ranking officer in that hospital caught some of those drivers moving like 50 kgs of diesel to go and sell. So the guy had to accustom them and said, "Where are you taking these diesels to?" You know, when you don't catch them, they will be scratching their head. So the man was very livid. What is wrong with you people? Now, this is probably they allocated like 100 liters of diesel so that it will power the gen. This is people's life.
And then you
so
are
now
stealing
they
it.
budgeted it. They know that maybe this 100 liter can take maybe like a week. So imagine, Khadija, that doctors are performing operation, surgical operation, and in the middle of operation, they've assumed that we bought diesel, it will last. Light goes off. This is people's life. I don't see. I don't know how we think. I don't know how. I can't say this is hunger. It's not hunger. It's just sheer sense of wickedness. Wickedness. Because you can't tell me you're hungry. You already have a job. You have a well-paying job, at least to an average level. So what is wrong with this? Is the only thing I would say as a solution is there needs to be a complete overhaul of our mindset. Our mindset is damaged. Was it you and I, or is it Gladys? We're talking about those guys that were begging on the street traffic, and they will stone, and they will stone your car, damage. So because of the 200 naira,
you and your money that you refuse to give,
you cause a damage of. So this is just we have a lopsided mindset. That's just
you know, we've been talking about, I think the other time me and John Costa, we were discussing about accountability and transparency, whereby almost same video of a Uganda minister, she actually budgeted for, I think, $350 for a bridge. And of course, at the end of the day, she going to, you know, survey this particular place, and she just saw that it was just a gutter. It was for that amount. And then some people were saying the camera was there, maybe she just wants people should just say and everything. But at the end of the day, it still fall back to accountability. It still fall back to transparency with the government and also like the citizen of our country. But I think I will also agree that we're actually our problem.
Yeah.
Because
in most cases,
if we're being honest, politicians, they have their money.
Of course.
So for them, I think for this particular lawmaker, I will clap for him because he tried in his way to, you know, provide all those fans, all those beds.
Basic amenities. I think he built the hospital.
Do you get? So for him to even do that, I think for the citizen in that, for the masses around that particular community, they should be grateful because not everywhere we get that kind of thing.
I didn't even know it's painful to me. This is just 1 out of 1,000 that is being torchlighted. This now the one where you see for camera.
Actually, there are so many thousands of cases.
Do you know? Go to this rural primary health care and see nothing to write home about, and there are allocations upon allocations every month, every year. Somebody is feeding fat on. So I don't know. It just speaks. And these are elderly people. I'm not saying young people are not, but these are elderly people that are supposed to set a good example to the people that are coming behind. Because in the end, when you've bought that G-Wagon, when you beat that house, what does it say about your conscience?
Yes.
What does this say about the legacy? People no longer live for legacy. People no longer live for, you know, I said, there was a day I quoted, was it Nelson Mandela, who says, when they were trying to curry favor with him because he was now a politician and they wanted him to reserve seats for friends and people that are not qualified. And he said, no, there's not going to reserve seats. That when we begin to lower the standard of education, that patient will die in the hands of those doctors. That house will get burnt in the hands of those electricians. The bottom line is trying to say is that we must raise the standard of morality. We must raise the standard. We don't have people who are banded by ideas that govern the nation. We don't longer have that. It's just selfishness. Once I'm okay, I don't care whether person can perish.
Yeah, you know, and Solomon, you mentioned something about people don't no longer live for, you know, legacy and conscience and all those things.
We
don't. I think another thing that this actually bring me back to, you know, sometimes when you see a lot of times saying, the youth to come out and do something. And at the same time, I have, you know, had a lot of discussion with youth outside, and there are some people that will be like, if I should be like me, I would do the same thing. Do you get? So is it that our mentality is already there that, okay, if I should read this particular time, I'll also do the same thing? So, you know, briefly, just in one sentence, just tell us, let's conclude on this particular topic, or in fact, a recap of everything that we just spoke about.
when, like I said, two things stood out for all of these are conversations.
Yes.
The first guy who was using gutter to preserve his yam, what he needs is education. If he's properly educated and the harmful effect of his practice, it will change. The second person still needs reorientation. Tough love most times doesn't cut it. And the last one is mindset renewal.
Thank you so much, Solomon. And of course, allegation remains allegation until they are properly investigated and established. But the situation certainly raises questions about transparency, accountability, and the proper management of donated medical resources, just like the way we discussed with Solomon. And those are our 3 top trends for today, from an unconventional yam preservation story in Lagos to a deeply personal revelation about childhood trauma and questions surrounding allegedly missing donated items in Nasarawa Hospital. Solomon, thank you for joining us and bringing your perspective to these stories, and thank you for having me. Coming up next is the Sport Desk, and of course, this is Morning Digest. You shouldn't go anywhere because a lot of the Sport Desk is coming your way. And do not forget to follow us on all our social media platforms. And finally, keep your comments in our story.
Hi, my name is Hawa Shakir Owoduni, and shout out to S24 for this interview. It was so smooth and so clean. Thank you so much.
Good morning and welcome to yet another edition of the Sport Desk, where we look beyond the headlines to understand the stories, decisions, and moments shaping the world of sport. I am your host, Udokan Godsbar. On today's show, we will be looking at Terry Murphy's fresh start with Hamburger SV, Chelsea's winning start under their new manager, and finally, Manchester City's latest transfer moves as the club continues to reshape its squad. 3 stories, 3 different angles, and plenty to look forward to. And this morning, I have got my colleague Olawale joining me on the decks this morning. Ola, good morning, and how are you doing?
Good morning, Gospel. I'm doing okay.
Awesome. You don't look too excited today.
I mean,
are you cold?
No.
I mean, you're putting on the cardigan.
This week is not an exciting week for a Manchester United fan.
I understand.
So we are just following the mood.
Oh, so the mood is just dull and
yeah.
So
you can imagine Chelsea won last night. So
Chelsea won, Arsenal won. Who else? Manchester City won.
Yeah. So these are our core
the top, yes, and
they are winning.
They all did well.
Yes, while we lost to a newly promoted
side.
So it's very bad. Yeah. So sad.
Well, we're not starting with that today. We are starting right here at home. One of our very own Nigerian professional footballer, Terry Murphy. So let's just dive right in. I mean, the past 2 seasons has been, I don't know how to describe the past 2 seasons for him. But first things first, what can you say about the player, Terry Murphy?
Terry Murphy is an experienced player in European League. At least he's played in multiple leagues. He started his career in England, and then he played
in Nigeria, rather. Then moved to England.
No, yeah. I'm talking about like
his
European
professional
experience. And then he had a brief stint at Lutania. He played for a club in Belgium, and then he had this big break move to in France in Lorient, and then his performance, I think he was about to score over 30 goals for Lorient before making his big money move to OG Nines, where he also did well until he had some issues that affected him. And from there, he had to move to Porto, FC Porto, for a brief loan spell. And now he's getting another move to Hamburger. Yeah, so it's just someone who has had a very illustrious career in Europe, and then even for the national team, he's not been a regular, but I think since his introduction in 2021 by Kenneth Roy, he's played for Nigeria over 23 times, yeah. And then he's had 6 goals. Not really impressive, but he's a player that has been able to make an impression as an attacker for the clubs he's played. He's not been silent all through. He scored goals. He's made impression. So I think that has earned him a right for another move to Germany, where he will be competing with the likes of Victor Boniface also.
Yeah.
So, and then I think France. There's another Nigerian playing.
Onyedika.
Yes,
Onyedika.
Yes, Onyedika, who just joined Frankfurt. So that's another
We've
connect.
got another person in Teller, Nathan Teller.
For Bayern Leverkusen.
So a couple of
who's got Nigerian blood
internationals
running through his veins. So Murphy is a decent player for his level, and I think he's going to be able to make a good impression. You see what Victor Boniface is capable of doing without injury. And Murphy has always been available in terms of selection. So I think he can make a good impression.
He has not had so much injuries in his career.
So I think he can make a good impression.
But before we talk about his move to Germany, I mean, last season was kind of hectic for him. Let's just focus on this particular incident. While he was at OG Nice, sometime in November 2025, they went for an away game against his former club, Lawrence, and lost that game. On their way back to Nice, their team bus got attacked by their fans because they lost that game 3-1. I guess they were upset and all of that. And Terry Murphy was one of the players that got affected in that situation. He eventually got given a sick leave, but his career never remained the same at the club. He had to now go on loan to Porto, like you mentioned, before coming back, and now the move to Germany. Now, with the incident you saw that happened, do you think we should be seeing such in football at this point? Don't you think football has grown beyond that stage where fans get to attack their players for poor performances off the pitch?
Well, ideally, football should be everything positive, but who are the sets of people involved in football? They're still humans. And humans, as we know, they are generally flawed. We have different kind of people. There are some people, they are very prone to violence. That's one of the ways they express themselves. But this type of violence are not allowed in our beautiful football, game in football. Yeah, but
it seems to be common in the French league.
Yes, we still see it. So, but it's not something that is appreciated. But it's so unfortunate that it was part of those who were attacked. For whatever reason, it is not acceptable. It's unacceptable in football. We do not want to see things like that. Before that incident, he was already having a brilliant time in OG Nice. Yes, and that event kind of changed the trajectory of his career in OG Nice, and then he had to go on loan to the next available transfer market in January. Yeah, so it changed a lot of things. Aside from the physical abuse that he was open to, I'm quite sure that he must have gone through some mental strain.
So I had a question in regards to bringing up this mental issue. His performance in Porto wasn't so good. His loan spell in Porto, he only scored about 2 goals or so during that time. Do you think this had an effect in his performance?
Yeah, definitely, because the move to Porto was not a calculated move. Let's just say that's the next available.
It was kind of an escape from that environment.
And if you look at it, FC Porto had a strong number 9 who also has Nigerian background, but unfortunately,
Teremi, right?
It's not even Teremi. It's Omodion. That was linked to Chelsea. Yeah, so this guy is representing the Spanish national team now, but he has Nigerian blood running through his veins.
The guy who joined from one Spanish club.
He's very powerful. He's very strong in the air. He reads the attack well, and he's he's always pressing. This is not to say that Terry Mofin is not a good attacker here, but he went to a team that already had
An established nine.
An established nine, so he was not able to make his mark. So that move was not even a calculated move. It was because the atmosphere around what he was going through at that period of time was already toxic. So it was best that he makes a move away from OG Nimes to the Portuguese league where he went to represent Porto. And now he's back. It's the transfer window now, and he's been able to make a fresh move, which is going to be giving him the fresh start. Yes, just for about 2.5 million euros. So that's a diligent transfer, no pressure, and I'm hoping that this season is going to be able to score a lot of goals.
So you think his move to the German league with Hamburger SV is a good one?
Yeah, it's a good one for him. I don't think he's going to be under any kind of pressure. So he just needs to adapt, settle himself down to. And
I think it's much more easy to adapt in the German league.
Yes, because there are no lots of pressure. So and
even the press
Hamburger is not one of the top dogs in that particular league. So he does not have any kind of pressure aside from putting his head down, put the work in training, do what you've got to do, score a couple of goals, and then you start getting your form back. And I think he can do that for himself.
Okay, let's move away from his club career and come down to the international scene. We saw him play for Nigeria during the just concluded Unity Cup that happened before the World Cup. He was the captain of that team that won the Unity Cup. He also went ahead to play in the friendlies we had against Poland and Portugal. He was impressive. He scored against Poland. Even in the Unity Cup, he scored. So he seems to have gotten his drive back. Do you think he still has a chance in the national team? Given the calibers of strikers we have now, we have the likes of Victor Osimhen, Victor Boniface coming back from injury, we have Ako Adams, Paul Onoche, we have a lot of
we also have one that is doing well in Trabzonspor.
Yes, that's Paul
Onoche. Yeah, so I'm not quite sure if he's going to be able to
break back into
the team, because you have the likes of Paul Onoche, Victor Osimhen, who is our number one striker.
Yes.
So it's going to be quite difficult, but nothing is impossible in football. I mean, if he can get himself to be a regular goal scorer, then he definitely will forward himself as a contender for the Super Eagles squad. That is if he can do that. But on this note, he's still behind pecking order, so he's still behind. I don't think he's the sort of player that if his name is being called upon, is going to be a permanent person in the Super Eagles. Like I said, he made his debut in 2021 and he's just been able to manage just 23 appearances. So that means that he's not a regular in that squad. So being able to come back into the squad might be difficult, but it is based on his performance this season
that will determine
if he's going to be invited back into the Super Eagles.
But it seems like our head coach, Super Eagles head coach Eric Chell, seems to trust him, because he was coming off a disappointing season from OG Nice and Porto, and we still saw him call him up for the Unity Cup squad and eventually for the friendlies. Don't you think that gives him that boost, even though not necessarily a place, but that boost, that confidence that yes, the coach has his back and he can, maybe with a little effort, still break into the squad?
From the player's side, that's a boost in terms of confidence, but we have to be careful when we use the word trust. Now, one thing I've noticed about Eric Chell is that he's very open. He has tried his best giving these players that are not regulars in national opportunities to show what they are capable of. So, and I think that's a very impressive thing to do for a national team coach. Give players the opportunities to show themselves. But irregardless of that, he knows his winning team. He knows his main players. So he's looking at bringing players who can also bring something different. And I think Terry Murphy has that because his style of play is skillful, he's good technically on the ball, but the only issue is banging in goals, which is the paramount thing that you want from your number
From a
9.
striker,
And he
yeah,
has
you
not
need
been
him
able to do that in the national team the way others have been doing. I mean, look at Victor Osimhen in the national team. He's a regular goal scorer, both for club and country. And when you have that kind of performer, I don't think you should be looking out more to bring somebody who does not have that level of consistency.
And they seem to be at the same age range. They are, I think Victor
Yes.
is 27.
He
He's
is
also
also 27. Yes. So
time is not on his side.
age and consistency are two different
really
things.
against him,
And looking at it from the broader perspective of the national team, I think this present generation that we have are getting a lot of things wrong. And just like you said, age is not on their side, and then they've missed out on 2 consecutive World Cups. And the next World Cup, which is going to be coming in the next 4 years, Victor Osimhen is going to be 31.
Bro.
So imagine that. That is if they even get the opportunity to qualify, and they've not won anything significant for us in the national team.
Well, let's hope that Murphy can get his career back on track, and our national team, which is the Super Eagles, can pick up from their ashes and make us proud once again on the international stage. Let's just quickly go for a break before we move on to our next conversation. The conversation continues right after this break. Welcome back from that break. And if you're just joining us, this has been the Sport Desk right here on S24 Morning Digest. It's been an interesting conversation so far with my colleague Olawale, who dive right back into it. So you continue to enjoy the conversation. Ola, we are back. So let's just quickly move on to our next conversation for the day. This was a game we did a preview of yesterday. I honestly can't remember what your prediction was for Chelsea, but let's start there. What was your prediction?
I
yesterday?
predicted a 2-2 draw.
Oh, okay.
So,
So
and
you were
as you can
close.
see, it's a close,
You were close.
encounter. It's a very close encounter, but Chelsea definitely
Managed to get the
show.
win.
Yeah, this is definitely going to be the highlight of their
season.
Yes, something happening in that particular match. Chelsea has a very strong attack now. It showed in this game because there are
three attackers actually
three
scored.
attackers scored: Joao Pedro, Morgan Rogers, and Kopama. There's already a relationship between
the three of them.
Yes, the three of them. Joao Pedro already had a very good relationship with Kopama last season, provided him some assists, and Joao Pedro scored a lot of goals. And now this is Kopama's best friend coming in, Morgan Rogers. Now, so the bromance between these 3 players is going to be key for Chelsea, and I think they've already shown what they are capable of doing, scoring 3 goals away from home against Fulham.
This point you just made just brought back the discussion we had about Real Madrid yesterday, where they have the quality up front, but that bromance is not there.
We are not seeing
that
it.
bromance is not there.
So this bromance is going to really say a lot. They have few games to play this season because they didn't make the Champions League. So they are really a team to watch if we are going to be very honest. Aside from this issue that they are having, because yesterday's lineup was a little bit shaking for me. Seeing the likes of Romeo Lavia, who is not a constant, he's not a consistent player in that particular team. And then we have James in a very unorthodox position, playing central midfield in a new system because they actually play 3 at the back. And this is not something that is new to Chelsea entirely because they've had some of their coaches come to play this. I think their former coach also did, and then Antonio Conte also played this 3-4-3 back, where he had the likes of Cesc Fabregas in the middle, Victor Moses on the right hand side, Azpilicueta on the left, and then he had Diogo Costa and then Hazard. So he was able to win the league with
that
that
squad.
Yeah, and I think even Chelsea had a very underwhelming season, bringing in Antonio Conte, and they were able to win the league. Can they do the same under Xabi Alonso in the same style? So
we'll get to see
the
that by the end of the
3-4-3 formation
season.
is not an automatic ticket to win the league, or is not an automatic way to say, oh, they are going to have a successful season, because we had that in Manchester United, was
And it
slightly
didn't work.
unsuccessful. Conte had that in Tottenham also. It was also unsuccessful. So it doesn't mean anything, but from their outing yesterday, they had a very productive return in terms of attack. But now, this is also something that Chelsea struggled with last season. They conceded a lot of goals. And their first game, they also conceded two goals away from home. Maybe you cannot punish them too much for that, but it's still a question mark on what they are going to be doing, what they need to be doing a lot on this season. They brought in an experienced French defender from Crystal Palace, Lacroix.
Who was also on the, he had an assist in the game yesterday.
Yes, so we do not...
Their signing is actually impressed.
Yes, but we do not know if they are going to be able to,
get the best out of
their defense, because even judging from Real Madrid's record with Xabi Alonso last season, they conceded a lot of goals too. And now this is Premier League, where even the bottom team can score goals against you if you are not uptight at the back. So scoring a lot of goals is good, but if you cannot defend, and you can see how instrumental that was for Arsenal last season, because they kept a lot of clean sheet, and that says a lot. If you score goals but you're conceding, you might not be guaranteed of a 3 points, which is very important in their progression this season.
I want us to talk about João Pedro, because he was a central part of our discussion yesterday. But before that, let me quickly ask this question. Do you think the 3-4-3 formation would work in the Premier League? Because we've seen a couple of managers try to implement that formation and it has failed. Let's talk about Manchester United in particular. When Ruben Amorim came in, he tried to implement it, but it seems like the Premier League is not a league where that formation is workable or doable. In recent times, because I know in the past it worked, but in recent times it looks like that formation isn't workable or doable.
Well, there's no, for me, I believe that formation is just a part of it. The execution is the most important thing, and having the right material to execute it. If we want to take for instance the situations where we've seen this formation work. Let me make reference back to the Chelsea team. You need to have a lot of engine room for that particular formation.
Energy, people willing to run.
With energy, people willing to cover ground. And I'm not quite sure, because I did not see the likes of Caicedo. I think maybe he had a knock in training and he was not able to.
That's
well,
true.
Having somebody like Caicedo and Enzo Fernandez, maybe it could work. But now we are not sure if Enzo Fernandez Enzo Fernandez is going to be in that team. But right now, that formation can work if you have the materials. I mean, look at in situations whereby we've seen it successful, we've seen the wing backs being very key in the field of play. Look at Victor Moses. Victor Moses had his best time in his Chelsea career in that formation.
Yes. Yeah, I remember that season.
Even Ruben Amorim, when he was coaching Sporting, when he was coaching Sporting, we have the likes of Quenda.
Who is now at
Chelsea.
Yes.
So that is a player that is naturally suited for that formation as a wing back. And the very interesting thing is that he plays both left wing and right wing. So he's going to give this Chelsea team that options to be able to switch up play. But I do not see the likes of Gusto being able to play that particular position.
Gusto is being linked with a move away.
Yes, because if you want to play the right wing back or the left wing back, it's a very difficult position, because you have to double in as a winger and also a right back. So yes, you need to cover a lot of ground. So it's not something that I think is sustainable long term. And if you look at it, even Antonio Conte was able to get the best of these players for just a particular season.
Yeah, the next season.
And the next season, it was looking like they were lacking energy, because it takes a lot of dedication to get. It's a good formation, but talking about the sustainability is very, very
It's difficult to
because
sustain.
in Premier League is a high intensity,
Yes.
intensive league.
Yes.
The intensity is crazy. Just like Abeloa was saying in his post-match review, the pressman immediately asked him what is the difference between La Liga and what he was saying is intensity. He said in La Liga you can control the intensity for a long period of time, but in the Premier League in 5 minutes the opposing team can just decide what is going to happen, and then before you know they are running at your defenders, and this is what Premier League is known for. This is why it is the best league in the world. This is why even a team like All City can defeat Manchester United, who has always been in the league for a long period of time. So that intensity is key, and if you want to play a particular formation that's going to require a lot of energy from your player, is this sustainable seasons after season? That is the question mark for the 3-4-3 formation.
Okay, now let's quickly look at their 3 attacking players, but let's start with João Pedro. We spoke about him yesterday. You made mention of him scoring, and he did that in 30 seconds. I mean, how impressed were you? 30 seconds into the game, and he was already on the score sheet.
You know, I said something yesterday about João Pedro. This is a player that he will guarantee Chelsea goals. It seems like it's a match made in heaven. He was not scoring this much in Brighton.
Yeah.
So coming into Chelsea and then you're already banging in the goals, it means this is where he's meant to be. Everything is working fine for him, and I'm really happy despite not being selected for the World Cup.
We need to get to Ancelotti and ask him what really happened.
Yes, because people started raising that, because you cannot look at the level he's had. He even had an assist. So aside from the goals, he's putting in a very fantastic performance all round. Yes, and him not being selected in place of Thiago Igor, who even despite his team winning 3-0 against Tottenham, he was not able to get on the score sheet. No assist. In fact, he even missed a penalty. He could have made the defeat more humiliating for Tottenham, but he hit the crossbar for that particular encounter. So this is a player that has been delivering game in, game out for Chelsea, and I think he deserves a spot. But Ancelotti, maybe now you'll be seeing more reasons to bring him back
into
the national team. But it's a very good one for João Pedro, and I'm really happy that
we expected it, and he delivered.
Yes.
Now let's look at Cole Palmer. Cole Palmer had a difficult season last year. I mean, there were so much talks about Cole Palmer on social media due to his poor performance,
inconsistency,
and
a little bit of injury.
The way he has started the season with a goal yesterday, how important do you think this is for his confidence coming back into the Chelsea squad?
Every player that is known to always be on the score sheet, always be significant when they have their drought period, coming back on your first game, new season, under a new manager, and you're scoring. That's a confidence booster.
That's really
it gives you the confidence that in the next game you also want to do something like that, and you begin to feel like yourself again. So for Chelsea, he's going to be very instrumental this season. He's going to be a very significant player for them if he can continue to score and assist, because that's what
consistency is the key.
Yes, that's what Cole Palmer is known for: scoring goals, assisting, and even when he's not scoring, if there's a goal, if Chelsea is scoring a goal, go and look at the replay. He's always involved. This is what Cole Palmer is known for, and I'm really going to be happy for him if he can get back to his best.
The way he was.
Yes, because he was also not selected for the England national team. So. And we cannot say it's raising a lot of question mark, because his own was performance based.
Kind of validated.
Yes, it was not up there in terms of those players that were selected. But then he has lots of quality. He's a player that even when the opposing team are sitting back, he can come up with magic, probably putting a cross in, just like we saw in their conference league final against, I think, Real Betis. Yes, where Real Betis scored a goal and they sat back, and then he was able to find the attacker with a cross, and then they changed the game entirely, and Chelsea were able to win. So Kopama is a fantastic player. If this goal is going to boost his confidence and he gets to make more contribution, I think Chelsea will be lucky to have him
I want to
again.
see more of the cold man celebration from him and not from Rogers, his friend. I want it to be from him.
No,
so
I want it to be from Rogers, yes, because
why?
Rogers is in my FPL team's selection, so he's a player that is regularly on the score sheet, even during his days in Aston Villa, and then coming in as a new signing for that fee, and then you are banging a goal on your debut. That's is a huge one. Rogers is also a player that we should be looking at in this particular Chelsea team because
so I wanted to move into Rogers, but you seem to already.
He's the sort of player that you slot right in, and it was very significant.
I think an
impressive
season last.
Garnacho was very, very smart to even leave the team because he did not have a lot of game time. Last season.
It looked like a swap.
Yes,
Rogers coming to Chelsea,
because
Garnacho
with Rogers in that team now, his game time is going to be limited. Very limited.
Extremely
because
limited.
you have a player who has had a lot of Premier League experience already before coming, and then you already know that
he very well at the World
in
Cup.
fact, we can say that one of the reasons why he moved to Chelsea was because of Kopama, because he was already at the final stage of agreeing a deal to play for Arsenal. Arsenal, yes, he was already almost an Arsenal player, but I think because of whatever relationship he's got with Kopama, that was very instrumental in his move to Chelsea, and I'm very, very happy for him that he was able to get a goal in yesterday, and they got the 3 points as well.
They were really, really impressive yesterday. But let's look at Fulham. Fulham also has a new coach. How was their performance for you yesterday? Do you think they can do something this season?
Well, yes, I think they can do something. Okay. If you look at people that scored, Josh King was introduced last season.
Yeah.
Yes, fantastic player, very, very young. I think maybe from their academy.
It was crucial for them last season. He was scoring some important goals.
Coming into the new season, scoring is also a player to watch. Then this man, Gonzalo Garcia, very, very exciting attacker from Real Madrid.
Yeah.
I think
scoring on his debut.
He's very, 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 very impressive. But because Madrid is a star-studded team, there's no way you can break into the team that has Kylian Mbappe as the frontline attacker. But he scored a couple of goals for Real Madrid. He showed himself, and I think under Arbeloa now coming to coach Fulham, and then he had to bring this boy. And look at him; he's already got a goal. So that's also very, 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 very important. He's also a player that we can look forward to in this new season. He's a Real Madrid boy, and now in his debut appearance, he's got a goal from them. This is not the kind of match that they will be going in confident of getting a 3 points. Their highest expectation for that match would have been a draw. Yes, and then they put in a good fight, 3-2 against Chelsea. That's not a bad outing for them. Yeah, so Fulham has always been a mid-table team, so I'm not having too much expectation. But if they are going to put themselves in that situation to fight for probably maybe the Europa or the Europa League qualification or even Conference League qualification, it's going to be a good season for them if they can do that.
All right, let's just quickly move away from Chelsea and Fulham and head over to Manchester City. We talked about them yesterday. I remember here Stephen was making mention of Manchester City selling a lot of players but not bringing in players. And all of a sudden, all over Twitter yesterday, we were just seeing stories of players being linked with Manchester City, Manchester City preparing to throw in a bid for this one, for that one. But this is the first player they've signed, or this is the first player they confirmed signature for yesterday, which is Brazilian Allen. I don't really know much about the guy, but I don't want us to dwell on his story. Let's quickly move to Ayoub Boadi, the 18-year-old Moroccan who just completed his move to Manchester City. 100 million euros. Is that a valid transfer fee for an 18-year-old? We know he's a quality player. We know he's solid. We saw him at the World Cup, but 100 million euros, is that not too much?
The transfer fees teams are paying right now is too much. Good prospects, young player, but for 100 million euros, that's a very big question mark. Coming to Manchester City, is he going to come into the team and hit the ground running? Is he going to Is he going to replace Rodri? These are the questions that needs to be asked. You cannot spend this kind of this amount of money on this kind of player if he's not going to be coming into the team to hit
Make
the
an
ground
instant
running,
impact, yes.
And we are not sure if he can do that. Is he an exciting player? Yes, but is he going to come into the team and be a key player from the outset? That is a big question mark. And I think Enzo Maresca should be held accountable if he are spending 100 million euros on a player and is not going to be a significant part of that team. That's a big question mark for him.
So you think he's not going to be a significant part of the team?
Yeah, I'm not convinced.
Okay. They are also planning on sending in a bid for Enzo Fernandez from Chelsea. And Chelsea are saying we are not collecting anything less than 120 million pounds. So it's definitely sure that if Man City were to get him, it's going to be within that range.
From a business perspective, I'm expecting Chelsea to require more.
More than the 120 million?
Enzo Fernandez was signed for a fee closer to that amount.
Okay.
He was signed for over 100 million. And he's played for Chelsea across 3 seasons now. He's won a World Cup, he's won European trophy, he has won FIFA Club World Cup. He has a lot of experience now. So Chelsea is not selling the same player that they bought. They are selling a player who is a world champion now, who's won what was this continental
the Club World Cup?
No, this continental trophy for North American team with Argentina. He has basically won Copa America. Yes, he has basically won
twice
a lot of trophies, and now he is an experienced player. He is the type of signing that is needed in Man City, who as soon as he's coming in to make instant impact.
Okay.
So because he wants to leave does not now mean that they should be willing to sell for just any fee. I think with the way the transfer market is going and the pricing, Enzo Fernandez should be going for a far higher fee.
So you agree with the fee for the player, but what about his attitude? We saw him do similar thing to what Alvarez did in Atletico Madrid last game yesterday. After the game yesterday, the other players were going to clap for the fans, appreciate them for coming. He walked out of the pitch.
With due respect to Argentines,
yes,
majority of their players have attitude issues.
Okay.
Yes. He has always had one thing to struggle with or the other. Early last season, he had a breakup issue, and towards the end of last season, when he began to see that they were not going to make Champions League, he began to make rhetorics of liking Madrid, a beautiful city.
As the assistant captain of a team.
Yes, then he went for Madrid Open, a tennis match that was attended. He and Cucurella attended that particular thing, and I think there were a lot of rumors during that period that they had a couple of meetings.
Yes.
But look at Cucurella today, was able to make. And Madrid is right now. Madrid is not interested in Enzo Fernandez. Anymore. So the only viable option that he's got is Manchester City under a manager that he has played well under Enzo Maresca.
Yeah.
So Argentines always have attitude. Even Lionel Messi has his own attitude that he's currently facing in MLS, where he was penalized for how he handled a conflict moment with a counterpart. Yeah. But look at him, even in the World Cup, after scoring against England, you can see the gesture that he made, which was inappropriate, and now doing what he did yesterday. I think it raises a lot of questions about player attitude and professionalism. I mean, you could have a gentleman's talk with the board, I want to leave and all of that. So doing what he did yesterday was unacceptable for me. And that's something that Manchester City has to be careful about. Because when a team he wants to play for comes, he might just put in another antics.
Okay, we've quickly run out of time, so we can't touch on Cody Gakpo anymore today, but it's been an interesting conversation so far. We'll continue to monitor these teams and see how their season goes. Ola, thank you for gracing the show today. As always, you've been consistent, and I love the way you do your analysis.
Thank you for having me.
Awesome. And that's where we wrap up today's edition of the Sport Desk. I remain your host, Udokan Godspa. Thank you for making S24 Morning Digest part of your morning. We hope you enjoyed the stories and conversations we brought your way today. Do have a wonderful day, and we'll see you next time.